Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, you beautiful people. We have something today that we've been waiting for a very, very, very long time. We are super excited, super just thrilled to have these two gentlemen here with us today. We have Lucas Graciano, we have Chris Seaman. We are so excited. This is our really big artist series. This is the first of hopefully many. Hopefully it keeps going. Hopefully it keeps popping off. It gets some attention. We get some other artists interested. Hope, hope, hope. That's all we're trying to do. But the big point of today, the big conceptual idea of this is to shed more light on the artist. Because without the art, this would not be what it is. We wouldn't be here as a creator. We wouldn't be doing this. The game wouldn't be nearly as big as it is. Hasbro wouldn't have nearly as much money as they have, etc., etc. So I think it's important to shed light on the artist that inadvertently made a lot of this possible. And that's what the point of this is. So the concept is Eric and I are running a modern deck. My deck is full of nothing but Lucas Graciano's art, okay? And Eric's deck is full of nothing but Chris Seaman's art. So we're pitting them against each other, just playing modern, slinging some spells, going back and forth, talking about the card art on the cards that we're playing, as well as asking questions in general for the artists about their background, upcoming projects, things they're passionate about, some tips and tricks for upcoming artists if you're interested, how to kind of get behind the scenes in certain things of that nature. So that is what this is all about. That is why we're here. Thank you so much for joining. We've been spamming this all over your Instagram. Sorry, not sorry. We're excited. But here we are. Here we are. So without further ado, we're going to let y'all introduce yourselves. Lucas, we'll start with you, man.
Hey, I'm Lucas Graciano. I've been working on Magic for since 2009. 200 some odd cards out there. Got a few bangers right now. Some of you might know. And yeah, it's been a good run. I'm still working on Magic. I got an assignment I got to finish up as soon as I'm off the stream here. Chris?
So cool.
Yep. I've been working on Magic since 2015. I've done a bunch of work for, prior to that, I've probably done, tons of Dungeons and Dragons. I worked on the World of Warcraft TCG. I've done work for Pathfinder RPG from Paizo. Also done several board games and have a couple of books out that are doing really well. And just like Lou, I'm also, after we're done here, I have to get back to work and work on new Magic cards.
We can't wait to see you, man. We can't wait to see you.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Lots of cool new stuff coming.
Well, guys, so we'll open it up at the first, just with some general questions for both of y'all before we start getting into the game. So
Sure.
I think right off the bat, I think the very first question that chat would love to hear is, what are your favorite MTG pieces that you've done and why? Lucas, we'll start with
you. Go first? Yep. Me? Okay. It's hard to say. I've done so many cards, and I feel like there's certain pieces of each painting I've done that I like and don't like, and it's not really one card overall that I think, or illustration overall that I feel like is something I'm really attached to. But usually it's something like if I did a lighting that surprised me, I pulled it off somehow that I didn't think I'd be able to, or a composition or a rendering technique or something. But as a Magic artist, I'd say my favorite is the most popular ones. That helps.
The ones that make you the most money.
Everyone loves Thoughtseize. That's been a good one to me. We've got a few other ones. A lot of times the ones I'm really happy with are commons and ones I just didn't see much play and kind of go by the wayside. But it's okay. I'm not in this because it's a good card. I want to do this because it's something I love illustrating and have fun doing.
Yeah. No, of course. Chris, what you got?
Well, my go-to answer is the one I'm working on now.
It's fresh in your mind.
Yeah, it's fresh in my mind, right? But I mean, like like Lou said, there are certain things that certain aspects of art making that are very satisfying. If the lighting's right, or you nailed the contrast, or the character is interesting. For me, I would have to say probably one of my favorite cards that I've done was Jade Avenger, which I don't believe, I think it's a common, but it's not a very good card from what I've heard from fans. Although the fans love the artwork, and can't go wrong with the Samurai Frog. That was just super fun.
Well, we're happy to tell you that is in the deck today.
Nice.
Yeah. We're playing it. You're gonna see it, brother. We're gonna see it. And I mean, I think that's great. I think that's great because it's those, again, that's what this is all about. The insight from the artist. Like, it may be the one that makes you the most money. You may also happen to love it, and it may be a common that you think, kind of doesn't see a lot of play or something like that, and people love it. Like, I run. I was telling you before the stream, Lucas, I run Grave Titan in every deck if it has black. Because it deserves to be there. It's a very nasty card.
So, Grave Titan is interesting, man. It's one of those ones where I feel like it hits all the spots that I love about art, and that I felt like it challenged me in ways that beyond what I was surprised with certain aspects of it. And it's one of those ones I keep selling, and I think not because of the card, which usually a lot of times at these Magic events, you're selling art based on the player's relationship with that card. This one, not as popular, but I still sell tons of mats, tons of prints of it, because I think the art speaks to people, which is awesome.
It is one of my favorites. It is one of my favorites. It is sick. It actually ties in. We'll just ask the question now because that's a perfect caveat. So when y'all get assigned cards or projects from Wizards of the Coast, do you know what the card does? Do you know the name of the card? Do you know the concept of the card? Kind of give us some information on that. Do they just make something first on that?
Unless it's a reprint, we don't know. Yeah, we have no idea.
Wow.
Yeah, so they
don't give you creature type, like dark versus light, nothing like that?
Well, we understand, like, they'll give us a brief that says, okay, this is going to be a spell or a creature, or it's in a blue deck, or a blue card. Okay. But unless it's a reprinted card, and I think a lot of times the art directors and maybe even the writers are a little surprised at how well a card does. I think the players a lot of times figure out a lot of the mechanics of how that card would work paired with other stuff.
Right.
So that kind of surprised everyone, honestly.
Yeah, so a card pops out to the scene, and you're like, oh man, wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's very interesting. That's very interesting.
We'll occasionally get the mood text or the flavor text rather.
Oh, really? That's actually kind of cool.
But I'm gonna say, unless it's a reprint, like Lou said, it'll the titles change. Meat Hook Massacre wasn't called that; it was called something else. I can't remember what it was called.
Oh, no way! That's so cool.
Yeah, called something totally different, and
beef chain
happens
massacre.
all the time.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Well, all right, guys. Great first questions. Great first answers. Eric, you ready to jump into this?
Yeah.
All right.
We got some gifted subs. Thank you, James Norman. Appreciate you, man. All right, Eric. We're gonna roll for first.
Okay.
I got a 9.
I got a 19.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Take it away, brother.
All right. So just as a heads up, we are playing Modern. That way we can kind of showcase the card and arts a little more. And I'm going to go ahead and start out by playing a Plains and tapping it for an Oscillate Pride. Yeah! It's a 1/1 first strike, life linker. It's got a send. At the beginning of my end step, if I gain life this turn, I create a 1/1 cat. Then if I have the City's Blessing, for each token I control that entered this turn, I create a token of copy of. And I'll pass.
So Chris, that one was actually almost a problem because that card's about $50. It's about $50 right now. We had to get all this together and click the order button and make sure it was here in time and all this good stuff. And One of our good friends I saw him in chat earlier. He was able to hook us up and meet us at our LGS.
Oh, awesome!
Let us borrow it for the stream. All right, Eric,
cool.
I'm gonna do you dirty. You ready?
Thoughtsies.
I'm gonna make Lucas happy. I'm gonna turn one Thoughtseize.
Wow.
Gotta do it. Gotta do it. Let me see that hand, baby girl.
Oh my gosh. All right. I have a Boon Reflection, a Forest, a Morbid Opportunist, a Imposter of the Sixth Pride, 3-tree Root Weaver, and a Scavenger's Talent.
What do you think, Chris? Those are pretty good cards.
Run with it.
I'm gonna say Morbid Opportunist for right now.
Okay, so this goes discarded?
Yep, discarded, and I will lose 2 life.
You lose 2 life. Okay, gotcha.
Alright, pass it back over to you, sir.
Stub your toe.
This is so cool. I've never seen my cards played like this.
They do work, man. They're good.
That's awesome.
All right, I'm gonna play a Forest.
That's a head of hair.
Oh, that is my head. That is my head. The facial expression on this cat, Chris. Tell me your inspiration. Was there a model? Was there a creature that you witnessed make that facial expression?
So that was very specific. It was they did want an ocelot. They did want kind of a conclave of ocelots. They wanted several of them, and for Magic, and what I've learned is that like if you can focal point on like one thing, it's a lot cleaner, especially when it shrinks to the size of a postage stamp.
Yeah.
So like I was like, okay, well I'll just put one in the foreground, and then like I researched ocelots and what they look like and what kind of facial expressions they make, and I was like, they're really cute. But like there's one that I found that was like, oh, this is vicious enough. This looks like this could do some damage. Okay. Piece of reference that worked.
I like that's like inside of like the statue of an ocelot as well. You can
yes,
kind of
it
see
is.
The fangs protruding from the top. That's very cool.
Yes.
It's given like Mayan temple, like very, very cool, very Aztec vibes.
Yes.
But
absolutely.
I'm gonna bring out another one of your children. It's a 3-tree Root Weaver, just a super chill mole dude. This should pop a Chris. It's a mana dork. I can tap it, add mana of any color, and then Oslet Pride's going to flick sand in Hazen's eyes for the disrespect.
I'll take one.
I'll gain 1 life because of the lifelink, and I'll pass.
All right, so gentlemen, we got some questions in chat already. So.
Sure.
Realistic MTG, he's asking, will the artist be at MagicCon Vegas or Atlanta? They'd love to get some cards signed.
Sure. I think we're both going to be in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And I will not be in Atlanta, but I believe Blue will be, right?
We'll usually get the solicitation the day of Vegas. So we'll sign up for it, whether we get in or not. We usually don't know until about a month or two before.
Right. We just got word that we'll be at Vegas. Like about 2 weeks ago, maybe.
Very cool, very cool. Next one.
So that'll be fun.
Go ahead.
Oh, so I was just gonna say, I'm also gonna be streaming on Twitch live at Vegas, signing cards, and so I'll be, kind of. It's more of an ASMR channel, but that's what I'll be streaming live, so it'll be cool.
We will plug it
the first big event
all over our stuff. That is awesome. That is very, very cool. Next question we got, is there any card you guys would like to revisit? Either an earlier card you want to touch up, or just give it a new twist or an alternative print?
Is it specifically for Magic, or can it be any painting? Because there is one painting I did for the Harry Potter trading card game that I absolutely hate, and it absolutely comes back and haunts me every fucking time I hurt my friend. God,
you know what? Give us both. I think give us both. Chris, you go first because you're passionate about it, obviously.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was super duper green. I had just graduated art school, and I went to a convention with a portfolio under my arm with, pocket full of dreams, and met an art director from Wizards, and at the time Wizards was sponsoring conventions, so there was an art director there, and I got to meet him, and he was like, "Hey, we're getting ready to do the Harry Potter TCG. Would you want to do some?" And I said, "Sure." And I had a portfolio that was like more fairy tale fantasy stuff, so it was kind of more in the children's book vein. And I did it, and I did like 13 cards for that game. But there's one card called Vermilius that I just absolutely hate, and I would love to repaint.
Chat, find it. Link it in chat.
Like I said, super green. I didn't know what I was doing. It was like my first gig, and whatever. Oh well.
That's
in the
cool,
past.
though, man. That's cool though. What about Magic? Any cards you could revisit, put a different twist on?
Man, I don't know. Like, I feel pretty confident with the stuff that I'm doing for Magic now. Like, they're like artistically, like, and Luke can talk on this too. Like, we have studied and continue to learn over and over and over again, and we have to, refresh our skills and shake the rust off, so to speak, sometimes. But you flex that muscle enough where I can read a description from an art director and I automatically have a vision in my head of how I want this to look. So I don't have to spend a whole lot of time hustling as I used to before, I just became more confident in my skill set. And so now it's like, it's pretty intuitive. Like, all right, I got it. Like, I understand I understand what the art director wants. I understand, what might be in a world guide that I have to follow. As long as I have noticed that, like, if I deviate too far away from that, the art directors are always like, no, you got to bring it back in a little bit. Like, we don't want you to do that because that's actually an Easter egg, or that's something that, like, we don't want to showcase yet because it means something else in the game. That's happened a couple of times. So I just kind of, like I said, I just kind of have flexed that muscle enough that I feel confident in, like, all the pieces I've done for Magic. So
he said, "I've got this." Hell no.
Well, like I said, I mean, like, that's like just any skill set that you learn. It's the same with art. It's just you get better at it. I've put in my 10,000 hours plus, to make it.
Hell yeah, man.
Have a successful career. So
that's so cool. That's great. Lucas, what about you, man?
Do I only get to pick one?
You can pick one. You can pick multiple.
I have a lot that I would like to revisit.
Really?
Honestly.
Tell us.
Yeah. Oh man, there's some that especially like the ones that are highly played. The ones that I feel like, oh man, I maybe could have put another few hours into this one or something.
Stroke, yeah.
Or the deadline's hit and you're like, oh, I gotta just get this out the door. But for the most part, like Chris said, through experience, you kind of know what to expect going into it, and you have a process. You follow the process, and you're able to kind of you can make something that's good. We've both been doing it over 10 years and 15 years plus. So yeah, I think the experience is you can't match that. You just have all that background knowledge, and you can always get yourself out of trouble. There's always a way, there's a process that you can follow that will help. If it's something, sometimes, like for me, I'll take a chance on something that I may not be comfortable with. Maybe it's a compositional choice or something where I feel like I've never done this. I think I can do it with enough research and trial and error. But a lot of times those chances you end up spinning your wheels a lot more. And I find that that takes more time to kind of experiment. But for the most part, I mean, everything's been done. We've done it.
Yeah.
And it's just, from there, it's kind of like, well, what's the next new little thing I can try to add to this to make it the next level for me, or something different that I haven't gotten to explore or the audience hasn't seen. But yeah, I've got one coming up that I'm working on right now, and I'm pretty excited about it. I can't say anything, but
come on, we'll get it out of you. We'll get it out of you.
Yeah, throw it.
Wizards are gonna be all over this so fast.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Well, that's
It's like, guys, I'll give you a hint. It's called the Mox of Moxes.
Giving Dan Frazier a run for his money. Cool. All right, I will continue my turn. Untap, draw. All right, Eric. You know what's better than a turn 1 Thoughtseize?
Oh, yeah?
A turn 2 Duress.
Oh, my God.
I told you it was a dirty first hand.
Oh, okay. So I'll show you my hand, right?
We're getting him, chat. We're getting him. Yep, let me see your hand. I choose a non-creature, non-land, and you discard it.
All right, I have a Boon Reflection.
Oh, I think you should show that pretty Path of Exile to the camera and then discard it.
Ouch.
Yeah.
It's purdy.
Look at that. So, Chris, you seem to do, going through all your cards, you seem to do a whole lot of, like, store championship type stuff, like kind of like one-offs, promos, and things of that nature. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Are you aware of that?
Kind of, sort of. I'm cool with it.
Yeah,
Dude, that piece is sick,
They've
Chris.
got some cool, they've got some, like, Gilded Goose was a store championship, Path of Exile, that was a special one. You've got, the zombie, what is it?
Gravecrawler?
No, not Gravecrawler. We'll see him. He's in here. But there's a few store championships on your side of things.
Cool.
All right, Duress is gone. We will then. I'm being an absolute menace for no good reason. For the funnies, for the chat. We'll pass it from there. So one of the questions we have from chat, another good one. What's been a highlight or interaction in your career that makes you look back and think like, yeah, like this made it all worth it. Like this is it.
Man, that first job probably for me. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, all the preparation I did through art school, and okay, now's my opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I was given a chance. It only takes one person. It only takes one person to give you that opportunity.
Just the opportunity, yeah.
And, yeah.
Lock it down.
And that was for me. That was like, okay, now we're ready. Yeah.
Lucas, what about you?
Yeah, I'd probably say similar. I think my transition into working professionally was a little bit more kind of over the course of a long period. It just kind of naturally progressed. I used to work in video games and I did storyboards and things like that. My original goal was to go into fine art, but I found that I like painting dragons too much. So I was like, you know what?
Nice.
Hey, that's fine art, my guy. You're talking to the right crowd.
So it was nice getting that opportunity for Magic. I worked like Chris. I worked on WoW TCG. I think that might have been my first professional card illustration or game illustrations. I did some D&D stuff. Mm-hmm. I worked on a game called Legends of Norath, which was through Sony, and that's where I got to kind of figure out.
Wow.
They let me kind of go. Like World of Warcraft was tough for me because they wanted you to work in their style.
Yeah, I was very
didn't match me very much. But Legends of Norath was kind of a good jumping stone to Magic for me, where I got to kind of figure out how I wanted to paint, and they had a lot more freedom. And it's not some of my best work, but I do have most of the work overall is decent. I had a couple of bangers, and then most of it was kind of me figuring out how to paint as an illustrator. Mm-hmm. But this brand allowed me to do that. And then when I was ready, I worked. Jeremy Jarvis was art director at the time. He gave me a chance with M11, and I've been working on it just about ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think you had zombie tokens in that set too, right? Isn't that when your zombie tokens
zombie
came
token?
Out?
That guy got printed out.
Came out M11. Yeah, I used those in like each set. I feel like there's new zombie tokens, and yours are the ones I have all over the freaking place.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
So that actually ties in really well with one of my other questions. Chris, you kind of mentioned it earlier before the stream. What was y'all's first, like, when you first got, like, hey, Wizards of the Coast, like, they want me to do an art piece, like, this is freaking awesome. What was that like? Like, what was that? Explain that moment.
So this is kind of cool, and it's kind of cool that it's appropriate. It's the two of us, because I got my first Magic assignment when I was out at Lou's boot camp, and Chris Ron was the guest artist, and I was out tightening up my skills as an illustrator at their artist workshop. So Lou was there, along with EM Gist and Michael Hayes, and Chris Ron was there, and my buddy Tyler Walpole, who's also now a magic artist, and Aaron Miller, was doing magic, I believe, at the time. And we were all there to work and to study and to learn, and it was really cool. We were at the Airbnb, I remember, and I pulled up my phone. I was like, I got my first magic assignment.
That's awesome.
And they were all like, yeah, Chris, yeah, awesome. So it was really great. One thing that I do have to say about our artist community is we all, a rising tide raises all boats, right? Like, all of us love to see each other succeed, and it is so important to us being artists that we have that sense of community, and we all know each other in some form or another. We all, we have friends all over the world that we communicate potentially on a regular basis sometimes, and it's just a really open, we want to see people succeed in making a living doing artwork, and so it was really cool. I got the pat on the back from all my buddies, and it was like, yay, like I just hit a home run. So.
That is sick. Lucas, what about you, man? You recall?
The question was my first art for Magic?
Your first...
Your first assignment.
Yep.
Yeah, it was we were doing M11 back in 2009, I think. And Jeremy Jarvis had given me, like, excuse me, coming off a cold here.
You're fine.
Jeremy Jarvis, I knew what Magic was somewhat. I didn't know how popular. I knew that I kind of wanted to work on it mainly because it was the art that I wanted to do. So at that time in my life and career, I was like, okay, cool. I know Magic's kind of the next step for me. That's what I want to do. And I got the job, and I did a decent job. It wasn't my best work by any stretch. And Jeremy Jarvis knew that. And, he gave me a year off or so. And then after that, he put me on. He saw me at a LuxCon or something, and then I had showcased all my newer work. I'd made improvements in my skills, and he's like, okay, well, that's when I think I got Grave Titan was when I saw him next, and then from there on out, I've been on just about every set that you could. It's different now because there's so many sets coming out, but back when it was 3 or 4 a year, we were. Chris was probably the same way. We were all on every set, and. The first assignments was a bit of a speed bump for me because I just didn't. Maybe I got assignments I wasn't comfortable with,
or
the pressure was
too, all at the same time.
Yeah, I'm growing, right. But Jeremy knew. He gave me a year to figure it out, and he saw me at LuxCon, thankfully, and from there on out, it's worked out really good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, man, I love how y'all kind of explain that, especially Chris explained the artist community and everyone kind of hoping and watching everybody succeed and this and that. I mean, it's been a whole lot of that in the creator Magic community as well. That's awesome. I've told y'all, this was a shooting your shot moment. Send an email and hope y'all see it. And we just started, and it feels like. We just hit our 5,000 mark yesterday. I feel like there's 5,000 people reaching down to grab us and, come on, you're going to make it too. And that's super sick that it's kind of it's all like that within this community just as a general.
Yeah.
Super, super cool.
I love that the high tide raises all boats, that's it's exactly what we're trying to shoot for. It's just that there's no gate guarding, everybody eats.
Right.
And,
yeah, and I mean, we all work really hard. I know that it's like, oh, well, you're sitting and painting, and it's like, well, yeah, we are, but that's pretty much all I do. I mean, I have a life, obviously, and a family and all that, but my passion is making art, and I don't know if I could do anything else. I mean, I really don't know. Maybe a gardener.
So it's like at this point, you're locked in. You're all in.
See, okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna step in here because I think Chris could do anything else. The guy is extremely talented on
brotherly love.
dude.
Oh,
Like,
so
okay,
sweet,
going
man.
back to that puppet, the marionette you made for freaking Eric.
Yeah.
That killed me. That kills me, man. I cannot believe you did that.
Oh, tell us more
I
about
researched
this.
how to make a marionette, and yeah, it was
Dude, you can do anything, Chris.
well,
If the whole art thing doesn't work out for you, man, I think you're okay.
Awesome. Okay, fair enough. I'll take it. Next venture, puppeteer.
Just a
There you
bunch of humble artists over here. Hell yeah. So we've got a quick comment in chat. Dear artists of MTG, thanks for providing such beautiful arts and keeping this game alive. So like I said at the beginning, man, this would not be.
Thank you.
This wouldn't be what it is without y'all. I mean, that's literally why we're doing this. This is great.
Appreciate that.
I forget whose turn it was on. Eric, didn't I just make you sad?
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
What a way to just check back in.
Just checking on your mental, you know.
All right, I'm gonna tap this mole druid for a black, and I'm gonna cast a scavenger's talent. So in this tin, is it biscuits or scones?
Okay, I think they're seeds. I think they wanted seeds in there. I have to see the illustration again. There's pickles in there, and they wanted jarred things, fermented fruits and whatnot.
Pickle seeds. There we go.
Pickle seeds. There you go.
Then I'm going to bring out the best boy, the Jade Avenger.
Ah, yes.
Look at it.
You still not have blockers, Hazen?
Huh?
You still not have blockers?
I'm playing the mind game. I'm making you sad.
Oh yeah?
What are you swinging?
I'm gonna go ahead and hit you with the Skippity Paps for 1.
Got it.
And after that, I will pass the turn.
All right.
Question for you, Chris. As far as Jade Avenger, what was your inspiration?
Oh man. Well, I mean, I grew up reading the TMNT comic, the Turtles comic, and that was like a huge inspiration for me as a kid. I loved the fact that it was so raw back then, like in the 80s, and like I certainly pulled from that to do this piece, to do the Jade Avenger piece.
A lot of people don't realize just how gritty that series was, you know? Like, they know...
It was gory, man. I mean...
Yeah.
Blood splats and all kinds of cool stuff that wasn't happening in comics prior to that. Maybe a little bit, you know, but with some Frank Miller stuff. But, you know, I mean, I don't want to speak too hard on comics because it's a whole other thing.
Riots in the streets.
Yeah.
I have that comic like at my hand somewhere, but I can't. It's old. I think it's Eastman, right, that did that one?
Yeah. Eastman and Laird back in the day.
Oh, man. It was so good.
Yeah. It changed my perspective. And I remember reading that and going, it's all black and white, but it's so good. And I love the grittiness of the artwork.
Lost audio, guys.
Did we lose somebody?
I can hear. We all good?
Oh, there you go. You're back.
Eric, I think you got to reload.
But yeah, it was such a good read, and compared to like the bright, flashy stuff that DC and Marvel were doing back then, it was a total different. What's that? Are you there? We lost?
Yep, we just got a quick technical difficulty. I think Eric is having an issue. Let me refresh real quick. Boop. Chat, this is awesome.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Okay.
All right, I hear you both. How are we?
Okay, there we are.
I can't hear Chris, but I can hear you.
Okay, try to refresh your browser, Lucas. That's usually the fix. Eric in chat says camera went out. Pass turn.
There we go.
Perfect. There we go. All right. So
I think Eric is still.
You back? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Chris.
there we go.
Okay.
All right. So we will continue on without Eric for the moment while he's getting that reset. So I believe we had a question up in chat, which is actually one of my questions. Let's see if I can find it here. Yep. So, is there another Magic the Gathering artist or non-Magic the Gathering artist in general that y'all look up to and take inspirations on?
Oh man, there's so many.
Top number one.
Lou, you go first.
I want to say I tried to emulate a lot of John Foster's early work. He was a big inspiration for me. He's actually, I think he's done some Magic years and years ago, but he's mostly known for his comic, and his style's changed quite a bit now. But yeah, his stuff early on was just that was what I wanted to do. And I've got a few other guys. Frazetta obviously is probably on every Magic artist's list. Justin Sweet would be up there. Chris Ron, he's modern Magic. Everyone knows who Chris Ron is.
Yep.
What about you, Chris?
Well, definitely, I would have to put it square on Jeff Easley. For the D&D stuff, because when I started gaming when I was 11. I'm 47 now, and those covers just like opened the world to fantasy and myth and all the things that I was craving, outside of, say, Star Wars that I was introduced to in the early 80s, and any comics I was reading. And then, I mean, there was kind of then this kind of journey of discovering other artists as I go, and Ted Nesmith and Larry Elmore for sure, another D&D great. Keith Parkinson, Clyde Caldwell, all those fellas were just killing it, and loved their work. Still do. Still look at it. Actually, I just looked at a Keith Parkinson book that's in my library, and I was like, oh man, forgot how awesome he was.
I've got a Brahm book up on I have like right next to my easel. I've got this little music stand. I put Brahm's book up there just because his paint strokes are just, and his value control is just unbelievable.
Yep, just being able to use the tools is like half the battle making art sometimes. Once you find that thing that works really good, it's like, oh.
So
okay,
Lucas,
don't
that's
touch.
that's actually one of my questions for you, Lucas. I saw in an interview you've done in the past where you were bringing up like a Superman toy action figure head and knight's armor and things like that you use for reference points in your art to help get the right angle or what the lighting would look like when it's hitting it just right, etc., etc. What would you say are some of your top points or top items that you use for reference that might help future artists?
I mean, the best. That is a good question. Yeah, the best for me would be to have someone a friend or hire a model and get the lighting right, get everything you need right. Mm-hmm. I do it with I shoot myself a lot, and my wife's a lot of my elves. My daughter's been a couple fairies in my painting.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so cool. I use that a lot. But when you don't have access to that all the time, these heads are great. I've got one right here.
Yep, there you go.
It's a little Hot Toys head, and you can light it.
I have this one.
Yep, there you go.
He's still in a pose from a painting.
There you go. Or you build them too. You can make maquettes and things like that.
Yep.
I've got maquettes up here. I'll bring one down that I can show.
Or as Chris will just build a marionette.
I'll build a marionette.
I'll build a scene out. Like this is from. Oh man, there goes his arm. But this is from Quakebringer.
That's sweet, dude.
And this was something Chris Ron designed.
Wow.
And the sketch was like it was awesome, and I wanted to do it justice, so I had kind of built him a little bit, and then I lit him, and then he was my guy. I mean, it's a pretty crude. It's pretty crude, but it's enough.
So there was a piece that just came out for Ether Drift that I did loot in a cage.
Yep, we've got that in here.
And I sculpted this little maquette of loot.
Yes.
Do you know
to kind of
how
give
many
myself
people
an idea? It's not as nice
pay
as loot,
stupid money to get their hands on that? the little sculpture of loot from Chris Seaman. Oh man, that is
I
sick.
heard his little tail. You know,
There's some hard.
We'll run the auction in the chat, Chris.
huh?
We'll run the auction in the chat.
All right, let's do it.
There are some
Very
crazy
big.
loot fans out there. Loot came around just a few sets ago.
Yeah.
I think Thunder
Yeah.
Junction chat, is that right? The first one Loot came out. I think so. It's been coming back every now and then. That's sick. That's really cool. Eric, how are you, buddy? You good?
Yeah, no, it's just I moved my desk and then my webcam just died.
You should know.
So I had to just install a completely different one, but I'm good to go.
All good, brother. Glad you're back. All right, so we'll ask one more question real quick. Make sure we got some time for Eric to get set up. So, Chris, a lot of your main interests seem to be mythical horror, creatures, and monsters in general.
Mm-hmm.
What inspires you the most to work on those types of pieces? I know you're a big Gremlins fan.
Gremlin.
I just really like to paint that stuff. I mean, it's kind of I don't know why. I just like to paint zombies and dead things. You know, particularly when I was doing cameo creeps, that was like, you know, I was like, okay, well, what kind of weird thing can my brain come up with now? Okay, great. You know, and I mean, it didn't deviate too far from, you know, traditional horror stuff. But it was my take on that stuff. So that was, you know, the fun part. It's just really fun to paint evil things.
And yeah, no, like your detail, a lot of the detail I've seen, like, and you can kind of see like the good versus evil cards, right? Because you'll have the good side and you'll have the detail it's more so in the nature and the element and like the big overall picture of the card. And you get to your dark side and you see the saliva and the blood and the gore and the muscles, and like you can definitely see that shift. It's really, really cool to see that.
It's fun. But I mean, and like there's, you know, certainly in working on those types of cards, it's done on purpose. You know, I do that on purpose, and it's kind of helped develop a you know, kind of what we were talking about earlier about, you know, getting in the groove of it and, you know, having the confidence to do it. And like I've said before, flex that kind of creative muscle. It's like, okay, well, this actually worked, you know, whatever that is for me, it's worked out. And so I push it further and I go, you know, okay, well, this is going to be a dark card. I know I can do this with it. This is going to be a light card. I know I can do this with it. So it helps kind of create. In a way, it's kind of created my style, I guess.
Yeah. It's like each set of art has its own brushes.
Yeah, and that's cool that you tapped into that, because that's actually very true. Hey, there's a cat.
Well, that's awesome. Very,
very Ocelot pride of you.
Ocelot's on the stream. All right, well, Eric, I've got big surprising. After being super, super mean to you, I don't have a good turn 3 play. I'm going to play a mountain, and I'm going to pass turn.
Oh, yeah?
I'm just being mean from the spirit of it.
Correct. I regressed like 10 years.
I saw Thoughtseize of Duress, and I was like, yep.
I'm still tweaking it. I'm trying not to move it because this webcam's held up by tape right now, but
excellent.
We're going to make it happen.
Much like our spirits.
I'm going to draw for turn, and then still no lands. But I'm going to bring out this guy. I'm going to tap this one and this one. And I'm going to cast of 6 Pride. It's a changeling. 3/1.
I'm getting my butt kicked, chat, but it was worth it.
Yeah. These are Leonin.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I always have difficulty trying to pronounce that, but I will send a 1/1 and a Jade Avenger at you, Sir Hazen.
How much, good sir?
3.
3. See, so now you artists can see, like on the MTG side, you can choose to be a menace and do things for funny, or you can choose to be good, like Erick's doing, and he's kicking my butt.
And after that, I'll pass.
All right. So Lucas, I just talked about ooh, this is a good one. I just talked about, how like we're able to see Chris's, passion, like specifically on the dark cards because of, like the extra mile in the detail with the gore and the saliva and the things like that help make it stand out. You have a bunch of detail in anatomy. It seems like in the muscle tones in your dragons, you have a lot of horses for Magic the Gathering. What's the big inspiration on all that? Is that mainly from the dragon work? Just really getting in on that?
Well, I try in my art to make it as grounded as possible. I want it to feel like it exists in real life. So I got to borrow from real life a lot. And studying anatomy was a big part of my art school days. And I taught anatomy for a long time. I taught arts for about 15 or 16 years. And anatomy was part of that. So I really had to know what I was talking about. And so I did teach quite a bit, or I did study quite a bit of anatomy early on. Horse anatomy, I know somewhat. I know enough about insertion and origin points of muscles, and I can make it believable enough. But when it comes to the human anatomy, I know it pretty well for the most part. And then it just comes down to, like, how do I stylize it to make it work for, the idealization for each of the creatures. But dragons, they're kind of all over the place. We've had tiger dragons, and we had
with Wizards of the Coast, yeah. You've got Ebondeath Dracula, which is a giant, like, elemental dragon and stuff like that.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right. Or you get some weird, like, I'll get assignments like make a horse made of lightning. It's like
lightning man.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And you know what's funny is you actually on that card, Lucas, you can still see the anatomy. Like you can tell. Like you can see like the muscle tones like in how you drew it.
Right. Yeah, and as an artist you have to extrapolate that information and try to make it, number one, a cool image.
Yeah.
Before anything else.
Yeah.
Gotta be
before
cool.
anything else, you have to sell it.
Right. And then you borrow from what exists to make it somewhat believable.
So cool. So man, I love that I was able to you can tell that just looking at the art, and you have a whole damn background in anatomy. You can tell now when you see it. Like it really stands out.
Yeah, and I'm sure Chris too. You've probably done a fair amount of anatomical study.
Oh yeah. Like the thing that's so fun is like when we get the opportunity to come up with a creature, and we are passionate about drawing, and we've studied it enough, from life or through other reference photos or whatever. And when we're given the opportunity to kind of go crazy, here's an anthropomorphic frog with a samurai sword, go, all right, I'm
figure
in.
it out.
Yeah.
And then they have the audacity to say, "No, I don't like that one."
Part. That's what makes us fantasy artists, is we get to create these things that don't exist, but let's keep them grounded in some form of reality, because then that sells it even more.
If y'all don't mind me asking, I know personally speaking, anatomy can be tricky, specifically with the hands, or say if like the right eye might look significantly better than the left eye, right? Do y'all have any tips, or anyone who may be watching or just draw or trying to get better for getting those hands and feet and just kind of down, and just getting anatomy as a whole down? Like anything they could do daily or things to kind of work their way towards getting more proficient.
Well, I would say start to break things down by shapes. That's, have you ever seen those like old school, like you draw the circle, right? And then you draw the neck, whatever. Like then you do the cross for the eyes. Like those are great starting points. Although there's a lot more shapes that you can add to those that then start to flesh out your drawing. Like when I do a drawing, first I get the gesture. I try to do the gesture drawing. And that's, the pose, something cool that they're doing or running or whatever. And that's just with line work. It's just lines, trying to follow the flow of the lines, and then I erase that. And then I do over top of it, I can still see my lines a little bit faintly. And then I'll do like, okay, well, the head's going to be here. Okay. And then if you're looking at reference, you can then use measuring tools, whether it's a pencil or a thumb, to kind of start to measure out how those parts all fit together. And so you can, at least that's what I do. But then I'll do another layer of drawing over top of that where it's tighter. And now we're actually getting into the muscle definition. And then another layer of, say, clothing or armor. So when I do a drawing, for me anyway, I always start very loose and then get tighter as I go and clean it up. And so, I could spend just as much time on a drawing that I do for the painting phase. And this is what I was kind of talking about and hitting on.
I
being able to. I'm sorry?
I understand that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's like the process of making art is some of it's, well, a lot of it's unseen. I mean, what you guys see is the final finish.
Yeah.
On a Magic card, and the process that goes behind it. In any creative endeavor before you're ready to share the finished product, there's steps and stages that go through, and it's the same way. And the idea of, like, if you can think about, when you're working on a sculpture, you're carving into it, you're taking away and you're adding, and drawing's the same way. You're erasing a piece and you're adding a piece and you're going back and forth on that. And I get a lot of joy out of drawing. Like for me, that's where I really love to make art, is the drawing phase. That's always really exciting for me. The painting is like, I've done enough research that the painting then just kind of falls into place. And so while I'm working on my drawing, I'm researching, effects or colors or, hey, I want to put a smoke screen over this bottom half or something. How does that look? Okay, well, let's look up a foggy, misty swamp, or something cool that is visually interesting. And okay, I'll incorporate that in my painting phase. So while I'm doing the drawing, I'm thinking about these things, kind of going back and forth. And but just it's all about, kind of circle back. It's all about just carving out shapes and doing the work, putting pencil to paper.
Yeah.
You actually just gave me a pretty good question. So Lucas, you mentioned earlier how you've been able to inadvertently, like, kind of Easter egg your family into some of your artwork, like as fairies and elves and things of that nature. Do y'all purposely put, or are there any purposely put Easter eggs or little things like you put there just haha, like someone specific's gonna know what this is?
Not at all.
Not at all?
I don't either.
You mess with a wizards, man, they'll come after you.
Oh, he's like, you mess with wizards, you're gonna get the heat.
I was gonna say, they'll say, nope, take that out. But there was something I did. I'm trying to remember. I think it was for Eldraine, the fairy tale.
Yep.
Plane. I had put in. What did I put in? I put in a crown or something, and it wasn't the Frogify piece. That was specific. They wanted the crown in that one, but I had put it in another one, and they had asked me to take it out, and they said, well, because that means something. We can't have that because that means something else,
like in the
for
story,
other
like
cards.
later on or something. Yeah.
Right. And so there's sometimes some of that,
like inadvertently, yeah.
there was the card I did for Phyrexia that was they had originally asked for Iris Oathsworn that I had done. They said, well, she's cutting down vines that are now muscle tissue and have turned into muscle tissue and sinew and stuff. And I had put a parrying dagger in her far arm, the arm that was, like this. So she was cutting through like this. And, I thought, oh, that's cool, and it's an interesting shape. And I liked how that looked. And they said, well, can you take that out? Because she doesn't have 2 actions or something like that. Like it was a mechanic issue.
Okay.
So that's sometimes that happens, but not too often.
I had one assignment I did for Kieran. What I did was I asked permission because I thought it'd be kind of cool. But there's a dragon flying off and he's dropping a bunch of treasure. And I said, hey, is it cool if I throw a couple Mox, jewels in there? And he's like, let me get back to you on that. And he went over to legal and then he talked to, the writers and stuff. And he said, yeah, go ahead. So you can find some Mox ones in this dragon I have stealing some treasure.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
But you have to ask permission.
Oh yeah. I was like, man, I don't know if
Chris,
I'd be able to not as an artist. I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna sneak this in there or this and that or like it's under like 7 of the layers of paint, like you were saying, Chris. It's in there.
Yeah, right.
You can't see it.
I mean, you gotta watch doing. We gotta watch doing too much because we're also on a deadline and we're trying to cram stuff in. It's like, okay, well, we gotta, we've got 4 paintings to do in a month and a half. Okay. It can get pretty hectic if you're trying to cram something in there every time. Although, I don't think there's anything that I don't deviate too far from what they tell me. Just because, in my experience, when I do, they're always like, "Could you change this back to what we wanted?"
And it's a time thing at that point, right? It's like I don't got the time right now to go back and change all that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes we have to find time, and that means no sleep. Sometimes.
That'd be a hilarious phone call if somebody is combing through and then they notice on hey Lucas, on this token, one of the orcs is going like this. Like, hey,
No, I don't bite the hand that feeds me.
Right, exactly.
Someone just asked a good question. So, Genesis Nightmare asked, the picture art is obviously the centerpiece of the cards, but have either of you done art for the borders or the frames or the text boxes or anything like that?
Oh.
I haven't.
No, I haven't, no.
No?
No, I don't know if they do that stuff in-house or they freelance
Yeah,
out.
because it's not on the card, so I think that might just be an in-house kind of...
I'm pretty sure it's
like, yeah. Okay, interesting. Good question. All right, Eric, you ready?
Yeah.
I'll play a small.
Make me discard.
Apparently, I'm playing mono black, Lucas, although it wasn't the intent. I'm gonna tap a red for a Vexing Devil.
Oh, nice.
This is a 4/3. For 1, whenever it enters a battlefield, any opponent may have it deal 4 damage to them. If a player does, sacrifice Vexing Devil. So, Eric, I either get to keep this or you take 4 damage.
I'll gladly take the 4 damage.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All part of my grand plan. Take 4 damage, sir. And then I will pass from there. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right. I'm gonna untap these. I'm gonna draw. And then do some shenanigans. I'm gonna go ahead and tap 2 for another Jade Avenger. Yeah.
I'm gonna get my butt kicked now.
And yeah, I think as they say, I'm gonna full send.
What you got? How much?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Boop, 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 boop. Get my butt kicked. Okay?
I'll pass.
All right. So, we'll untap. Chris, you mentioned it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to touch on it. Cameo creeps, brother.
Yeah.
Tell us about them. Tell us what they are. Tell us kind of the lifespan and if we're ever going to see something like them again.
Yeah, so I started Cameo Creeps I kickstarted it in 2016, I think was the first Kickstarter. And it was a product line of tiny monster paintings. And most of them were creatures of my own design. And I released 4 sets of 12 that started to gain some traction. And then I had a licensing deal with Elvira, and we were able to do a series of kind of horror icons that were a subcategory of cameo creeps. But they're all Elizabethan monsters. So they're all the classic portraits of, the kings and queens from the Renaissance period, or somewhere around there. And, so we got the big collars and the floofy gowns and the big hair, and but they're all monsters. So there was ghosts and specters and werewolves and vampires and zombies and Frankenstein type creatures and stuff, and it was really fun. And I was able to release, like I said, about 4 sets of 12, and then I think it was 9 horror icons. And I did Toy Fair in 2018, and I had Hot Topic interested in carrying the brand, and it was, going really well. And then COVID hit, and I had already booked my 2020 Toy Fair booth with the new products to take to there so that I could get orders. So that's like, I don't know if y'all are familiar with Toy Fair, but it's like the big, like any major chains are there. So Walmart, and they'll literally like hand you the credit card and say, all right, we'll do 1,000 right now. It's crazy. Wow. So it's expensive to do, but there's no, if you're not spending money, you're not taking the risk. So it was a really good business experience. I learned about production and packaging and all those types of things. And but because of COVID, what happened is that there was no way for me to continue to make money on it. And it was overall, I was super happy with it. I was super happy with the success of it. And as of right now, there's no plans to revitalize it. I have moved on to kind of some other projects, personal projects that I'm doing now. But it was a huge success for me artistically to have that kind of feedback and push into a realm that I have to be honest, it was uncomfortable at times because I was stepping into territory that I normally do. And so, I was administrative. I was doing a lot of administrative work. The one thing that I miss about it the most, honestly, was working with the group of people that were helping me make the product. And they're really good friends and still are. And I do miss them quite a bit. We set up shop in my parents' basement.
Yeah.
And we were just making them out of there for fun. And it turned into something bigger than what I thought it would, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. So on that, Chris, you raised, I wrote it down here. Through your Kickstarter, you raised $45,271 through your Kickstarter.
Yeah,
campaign.
And actually a little bit more because we then used BackerKit to do pre-orders. So I think I probably raised another $20,000 through BackerKit. So
what advice, if any, to new artists of using platforms like that? Is there a better platform nowadays to use? Is that the gravy train? Is that the one to jump on? What do you think?
Well, there's certain, I think it has its benefits, and it has its drawbacks, just like anything. Mm-hmm. The benefit was that it got Cameo Creeps in front of a large audience without spending a whole lot of money on marketing. Mm-hmm. And I did it pretty green. I didn't know what I was really doing. I had a lot of help from other artist friends who had run successful Kickstarters, which was amazing help. But the drawback is there's percentages of money the Kickstarter takes. So you actually, it might say, you hit goal at 10,000, but we're going to take a percentage of that. So you're actually now below what you actually
What you
needed
needed.
to make the thing. And that's why I decided to go through a backer kit to raise the difference.
That makes sense.
To be able to continue to make it. But I mean, I've sold almost 7,000 cameo creeps all over the world. I'm still very, very proud of that number.
That's sick.
You know, so they're in stores, and you know, yeah. So it found an audience, which was cool.
Eric and I are gonna have to get some custom ones in some safety vests and hard hats.
actually, you know what? It's funny you say that, because I just got someone who has always been a fan of cameo creeps, and I actually met her at Toy Fair. Just got a custom one.
Yeah.
And so I'll do it. And here's the other thing about cameo creeps too, is I paint them this big.
Oh yeah, they're small.
They're all painted in miniature. So then any of the reproductions that I had done were all prints, and we hand varnished them so it looked like nice canvas texture on them, and I hand painted every single gold lip on the frame, which is about 7,000. But I figured out a solution that actually worked pretty well, so it worked. It was fast. I was able to do them really fast. But
dude, that's such a cool side quest, man, that you just went on and said, I'm doing this.
I did my toe in the world of the entrepreneur, and what I'm excited about is it gave me a lot of information on what to do next.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm really excited about. That'll be in the next couple of years. So
we waiting. We're ready.
It's gonna be sweet.
Is it okay if I put the Kickstarter link just so that way they can see the art that you're talking about in chat?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Of course. All right, I'm going to drop out a Wasteland Viper. This is a 1/2 with Death Touch, a really cool snake looking guy. So I can pay a green, I can discard it, target attacking creature gets +1/+2 and gains Death Touch until end of turn. And then my kingdom needs one green. I'll pass it over to you, Eric. Same thing.
Such a fade.
Kill me. So Lucas, you've done a lot of the video background and everything. I looked up, just learning more about you guys as artists and everything else. You have a lot of work with Watts Atelier. What is that to you? Is that an illustration studio? Is that somewhere you teach? Can you explain that?
Yeah, so Watts Atelier, that was the art school I went to. It's here in Southern California, and I taught there also for about 16 years. And that's also we ran an illustration boot camp, which Chris had talked about earlier, how he came out. He got his first magic assignment while he was there. So yeah, it gave me all the skills I needed to be able to do what I'm doing today, and I was able to give back for quite a while. 16 years is no small stint of teaching. But right after COVID, when COVID hit, we went all online, and during that transition is when I kind of phased out of teaching, and I just recently went back in January for a small boot camp. We ran another one, and we'll see how it goes next year, how it lines up with some of my events and things. But if I can do it once a year, I wouldn't mind doing it. It's a lot of fun, and but my main teaching days are behind me.
Very cool. Still very cool. That's awesome, man, that you were able to start.
It's a superb school. It's superb.
It's a solid school. I mean, you're not going to find a lot like it out there. No. And what was nice about it is it taught a lot of the foundations of art. So anatomy, perspective, understanding value and shapes and paint. You paint still lifes, and you go outdoors. You paint landscape. You paint portraiture, and you draw the nude. And it was just a great foundational drawing school. Unfortunately, the guy who owns it, Jeff Watts, he dabbled in illustration. He did some movie poster stuff, and early on history, he eventually went on to do more fine art. But he brought that element also into the school, and because it's all built on foundation, it allows artists to kind of pick and choose what they want to do. You get good drawing skills, and then you can push it towards comics or illustration or fine art or landscape paint or whatever.
It's the foundation. Yeah.
It is a foundation that made it really solid.
That's very cool. Eric, kill me, brother. I know you want to.
What?
Do your best.
No.
I can smell it.
Come on now.
I can smell the
You
rotting
can smell-
corpse.
You see the vibes? Is that what we're saying? Well, honestly, I've been missing triggers. I guess every time I've been gaining life, I was supposed to be making tokens.
Oh yeah, so I'm Dimma dead, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I can't help but notice all the animals that are on my side. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like
I think they'll
two
typecast
frogs,
us
a
sometimes,
lion,
man.
a mole, a cat, and a squirrel.
You got frogs. You got everything.
Death by cute.
Oh yeah, we're summoning Captain Planet. Okay, he's a hero.
Nice. Nice. Free flowing mullets.
All right, take me out, sir. Let's get into the next one. Take me out.
Yeah, I'm gonna swing and smack you with the disrespect.
Dad. All right, so that was a good example of it's not always right to do the funny things.
Wow, that's so crazy.
So, and
Just
there's tournaments and events, you know, based around Modern. It's super fast, and it's following the meta and what are the best cards, and you know, you can have 20-minute games, you can have 2-minute games. it can get really wild. But as far as timeline, we probably plan to maybe run about another 30-45 minutes. Does that sound good with y'all?
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
I respect your time, of course.
I think while you guys are shuffling, I'm gonna run to the little boys' room.
Okay,
We're
right.
back.
All right. Let's see here.
Yeah,
That was
that's
really
good
cool to
for
watch.
Chris.
Yeah, man, like the just getting the creatures out and pumping them out. And I mean, I wasn't so my issue, one of the things that you run into when you play Magic is, and one of it, these are brand new decks, so they need to be shuffled like 50 freaking times to get everything where it needs to be. But
Right.
I was stuck. I had all black mana sources, and a bunch of the cards in my hand were green or red. So I was. They call that being mana screwed because I couldn't do anything with it. Couldn't do anything with it. Had it, but couldn't do nothing with it.
That's so cool though to watch us play our cards like that. I mean, I don't know if I said it when we were live, but this is the first time I've ever seen that. Because most of the time at events we're in the artist space.
Yeah,
so we're not
look
like
at this single card. Yeah, sign this for me.
Yeah, right.
No, man, we love this, and this is something we really hope turns into something bigger, where we have more artists come on, we have returning artists, we have, you know, because sets are gonna come out, y'all are gonna have more illustrations in the future, etc. Just really,
I probably have like, I want to say close to 20 cards that are still unwrapped.
Look at that. Look at that.
I don't know how good they are, but and that's the other thing too. Like, we never know. We just don't know what's going to be good.
Yeah.
And until it gets, you know, some play and people figure it out. And then there's also sometimes too where there's a card that came out, you know, 4 sets ago that was totally dead in the water, and then somehow it was revived.
Oh yeah.
Came up with a new
You want to talk
combo
about prices too? The price follows that.
Right. Yeah.
You'll have cards that, man, that they'll tell you, there'll be like little posts or updates in the community, like, hey, this card just had a 673% rise in price.
Right.
Holy
right.
crap. Just because something else came out that works really well with it and helps with strategies and everything else. So I actually just had a great question in chat. What are some ways that we, just as a Magic community in general, what are some ways y'all can be directly supported? How can we directly support you as artists?
Lou?
Just come out and meet us, man, at these shows. It's awesome getting to meet the fans. It validates what we do. It helps inspire me to want to keep creating awesome art. And I think that's probably one of the best ways. Things like this, what you're doing, is awesome. This is new for me, and it's been fun to just kind of sit here and chat and actually learn a little bit about what you guys are doing. And
Right.
Yeah.
Being a part of this Magic community in the small way that we are, it's pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. Do y'all have stuff available on your website currently? Do y'all try to, what do your websites look like? Do you try to keep them normally stocked, pretty up to date?
Yeah,
I think yours has a big banner across the top that says "Don't talk to me for like 2 years" or something.
Well, okay, so here's what happened with that. Like, I did the Path to Exile card, right, with the Angel. I put it on my website, and I sold out within like a week. And there were 100 and some custom paintings and sketches that I needed to do. And I have never recovered. Because when a new card comes out and it's hot and I put it on the website, I got another 20 orders, like, so I just in order for me to communicate with my fans, what I've decided to do is I set up this Twitch channel where I'm going to now start streaming when I get as I finish orders, so people can see it, and sketches or paintings or just signatures. I am going to be streaming live all through MagicCon Vegas of signatures. So that, if anybody's interested, please give me a follow, and then we can we'll go live and it'll be fun. And I'd like to do like a new playmat every couple hours, so it's a different background while I'm doing signatures for fans. But like the custom stuff is crazy, because prior to that I didn't have that demand, really. I've done a lot of work in a lot of different games that are
so you
really
kind of had a rough idea
famous.
of like what it's going to look like once you
I
announce it.
I had no idea that it was going to be as big as it was. And literally, so 100 orders, right? 100 customs, each painting anywhere from 2 to 4 hours to finish. That's 400 hours of customs that I had to figure out how to accomplish. So, I get to the point where I'm like, okay, well, I can do a batch now. I have a break between jobs and I can finish them up. And my goal is to finish everything as timely as I can. But when you have, 400 hours of work ahead of you, you gotta space it out, or else I couldn't work on new Magic cards.
It's a gift and a curse, right?
Right.
Get all the attention and be like, oh crap, pump the brakes.
Yeah, I had no idea that. And then and other artists have done it where they're like, okay, well, I'm only releasing 5. Like that I learned later, obviously. Like, oh, they're only releasing 5 for customs. Okay, well, that was fucking smart. Boy, I wish I would have known before I did that. So eventually I will be caught up. I'm actually caught up now. I believe I'm about 9 months out instead of 12. So that's some shaved off time.
That's still really cool, man.
But thanks everybody for their patience. That's like a huge thing. The Magic community is like so sweet, and just understanding that, I'm not Amazon. I wish I was, but
I think we all
can have it delivered to you tomorrow.
To some extent.
You'd be surprised just how much support you guys have in the community. The amount of support artists get, just as far as just coming to y'all's defense in general, especially if people are just not being respectful and things of that nature. And I noticed at the conventions, usually it got me thinking too, like, what would y'all say is like y'all wish fans would do more of, or if y'all want to go the other route as well, like pet peeves of things you wish they'd do less of? Because at the same time, while y'all are there, y'all are also using y'all's time to be there as well. So just kind of some things that if y'all, whatever y'all are comfortable sharing, as far as like kind of to give them y'all's perspective while y'all are there.
Lou, do you want to go ahead and take that?
Don't
I
tackle.
don't know, man. My experiences, for the most part, have been really good with everyone. Fans are just wonderful, and honestly, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without that group. It's pretty incredible. I don't know, man. Just come out and see us, and just like have a conversation with us, and we're there to meet you guys, and I think it's a good time when you have people coming over and doting over your art, and it's pretty cool. No drinks on the table, please.
No drinks on the table.
Hey, that's a big one. That's a big one.
That's a good one.
I would second that too. I mean, the reason we do these events is because of you guys, and we love to interact with fans and find out how our cards are doing, because to some degree we don't know.
Yeah.
So it's always nice to go, oh hey, well this card did this. Oh wow, that's awesome. We love to have those conversations. It's really important for that fan connection for us and for you guys too. No drinks on the table. That's a good one.
No drinks on the table. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
Eric, I'm going first because you kicked my butt.
Go ahead. I believe in you.
All right, I will draw. Oh well, I'm sorry, not sorry. Mountain. Tap for a Vexing Devil. Same guy.
Oh my gosh.
What's it gonna be?
I'll lose the 4.
Yeah, you will. And I will pass turn. Take that.
All right.
Back for vengeance. Watch this be a draw.
I'm gonna tap this forest, and it's a goose. It's a gilded goose. When it enters, I will create a food token. I will shout out another artist in chat, MTG Demonic Tutor. It's my food token. And then after that, I will pass.
All right. Untap will draw. Very nice.
Oh, Beth is in chat.
Very nice. We'll drop a swamp. We'll pay 2. And Lucas, this is going to be a good little segue. Ephemia the Cacophony. However you pronounce that. This is a 2/1 flying legendary enchantment creature, Harpy. At the beginning of my end step, I may exile an enchantment card from my graveyard. If I do, create a 2/2 black zombie. So, I remember seeing an interview where you were talking about this, and you were like, man, that was a tough assignment, because they wanted like the galaxies and stuff like in the background, in the art, and trying to conceptualize that.
I love that painting.
Yeah, the Nick Bourne stuff. Anytime you're asked to do a Nick Bourne related assignment, it's always a little bit rough. I had one that was even tougher than that, and I did it to myself a little bit, but it was a wolf, and he was in dappled lighting, and he needed the star the effect. I was like, oh man, what did I do? But it actually came out pretty good. Lighting. Yeah, but it came out pretty cool. So one of those things, you high risk, high reward.
Yeah. No, I can see how that could be a tough one, and like keeping everything, especially like the anatomy and all that, and still like we brought up the lightning mirror earlier. Like I remember seeing that and looking at that, I was like, holy crap, man! Like that's impressive. Like it's lightning, but you can still see the muscle tone and this and that and everything else. That stuff's just so cool.
See, the trick with those kind of assignments is to do a good job, but not too good a job, where they keep asking you to do that stuff.
That's hilarious. You're like, man, if I blow it out of the park, I'm screwed.
I was a horse guy for a long time. I did a couple good horses. Like, oh. And I even had my art director, after several horse assignments, she said, hey, if you want to stop taking horses, just let me know. Like, yes, please.
Hey, we need a 5-headed horse dragon. You're like, all right, sign me up. Eric, I'm gonna slap you.
That happens though. You get known as.
Oh, didn't I take the 4 so I get sacked?
Oh, did you? Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, it's it.
Yeah, stub your toaster.
I will. I'll pass back to you. So Lucas, in a lot of your art, man, like one of the big things I notice when I look at your art, kind of what stands out to me, is you have like your background, man, is so like there's so much in the background, like really just kind of creates like a space and like really adds to the art. Do you start like as far as artists and people who are trying to get into that and everything else? Do you start with the focal point, or do you start with your background and work your way forward? I think that's a good question for both of y'all, actually.
Yeah, that is a good question. I tend to just go with what feels right to me. A lot of times, I'll tend to start with the focal point just because my attention and energy is all at a height early on in the painting.
The idea in the head.
As the deadline creeps on, you feel the pressure, you're getting fatigued. I'll save that stuff for background, or later in the day or something. I might do stuff that's just a little bit more. It doesn't need to be as refined. It can be a little bit more suggested, or it doesn't take as much attention as something like a face would.
That makes sense.
Are you the same?
That makes sense.
Chris?
So mine, what I used to do. So my technique has evolved over a period of time, and I used to paint in oil paint, and have switched to acrylic probably 15 years ago now. No, 2010. Well, yeah, 15, somewhere around there. 13 years. Or no, it's 2025. What am I saying? It's been 15 years. Anyway, I used to paint oil paint, and what I used to do was I used to use airbrush Fisket paper and carve out my main characters, and then I would paint the background, and then I would peel that off and paint the characters. And through that technique, I've always worked back to front. Mm-hmm. So I'll do the background first, and since I've switched over to acrylic, I no longer use the airbrush paper, but I still paint from back to front. Still.
Okay.
Just out of.
So that's mostly like a medium limitation, right?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I could start with the main character, but for the most part, it's just habit.
Okay.
Really, just kind of,
and I think of having that.
And then I'll tweak it as I go along. Like,
yeah.
Once I get to the front, I'll tweak the background more to either get more punch or contrast or whatever, and go from there.
That seems difficult in acrylic though, because it dries so fast.
Well, I use a lot of washes.
Oh, okay.
So I'll build the washes up to opaque.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, your work does have that kind of. You can see a lot of the textures and stuff underneath. That's cool.
Yeah, I like to show my pencil drawing. I got that technique I swiped that from Bill O'Connor in the late 90s, early 2000s, because he used to do that a lot. I got his books
on my shelf too, man. I miss that guy.
He's so good.
He's a good dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I miss him. He was one of my mentors for sure. Him and Jim.
Pavlik?
Coming up. Pavlik.
Yeah, I love Jim too, man. I feel like him and I would get along real well if we hung out, but we never hang out anymore. I never see him at any of these shows.
Oh, no, he's a good dude. Way good dude.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Good answers, guys. Good answers. All right, Eric. What did you play?
So I did another tree through Root Weaver, and then I tapped Gilded Goose to Saga Food for a black to play Scavenger's Talent, and then I passed.
Just like that, huh?
Yeah.
Just like that. All right, I'll draw. Interesting. I'm going to drop a forest here. And this is, I got to say, Chris, I'm sorry, I'll be a little biased for a moment.
No
This
worries.
is one of my favorite pieces I've seen come out lately. I am going to Infernal Grasp your Gilded Goose.
Oh,
wow.
Lucas, I love this damn art, dude.
Oh, that painting.
It is so...
I agree.
So freaking cool.
I have a fun story about that one.
Please, for the love of God, tell it.
So, I have a buddy, Victor Adame. He's a magic artist as well. Well known. You probably know his art. Him and I joke around quite a bit. And he told me one time, he's like, man, you put way too much black in your paintings. So out of spite,
Out of spite.
I'm doing this, and it's gotten a huge response. So,
Lucas, dude,
you.
I love this, man. Like it.
Oh no, it's a beautiful painting.
It is so cool. It is so cool.
Thank you. That's what I'm thinking about turning into a mat. Mats are a bit of a project, but
man, that would be so. I think you'd see an insane amount of sales off that if that was a play mat. Honestly, just outside looking in as a MTG player, just it stands out so.
I'm kind of curious about you fellas, or if chat wants to kind of get like what would you like to see product wise from us artists?
That's a great.
Would you like to see more mats? Would you like to see like card sleeves or tokens? I don't know.
Great question. Chat, answer back. Let them know. That's a great question.
So it's like we kind of touched a little bit on this on a match that we had in the past with shout out Maestro and Bev, and they had Matt that was the art of the Secret Lair by Peach Momoko, and so like I feel like mats would be like a great way to just express like I remember when we were at Command Fest in Dallas, it was the mat of the vampire that drew us to your table, Lucas. And, it's kind of like it's those instances when you meet physically face to face with an artist, whether you're meeting them for the first time or you've been a fan, and then you just make that connection going forward. I've gotten compliments from the tokens that I've used. I think Bev in chat, Chris, she got Meat Asker Matt signed by you. So it's kind of like going forward. It's kind of like it plants seeds where it gives the fans the ability to root for y'all going forward and like, oh, I wonder what cards from this set's going to come out that y'all are going to do in y'all style. So I think honestly that's perfect. Like anything that goes with like mat sleeves to where we can do and show support, honor y'all's art and how we reflect our own personality while we play.
Cool.
Yeah,
awesome. We appreciate it.
Because I'd have to say so I've got this Grave Titan here, Lucas. So this is what I got. I got signed by you at Command Fest Dallas, and this art specifically, it is. I did get a copy. It is in this deck. Hopefully we see it throughout some play. But it was actually an exclusive for Xbox. For a Magic the Gathering video game. It was an art exclusive. Couldn't get it like in a pack or something like that. And so nowadays, like you can only get it online. You can only find it online and buy it. And getting one that's in good condition, and I was able to snag up a real nice foil one that's in real good condition for this event. So hopefully we see. I mean, I'll pull it out if we don't get to it, but yeah, man, I would love some Infernal Grasp art. Chat is saying tokens are great. They love tokens. They have issues finding Thrall tokens. When they went to MagicCon Chicago, they didn't see a lot of those.
There are so many darn tokens. I mean, I've upped my game quite a bit. I probably have about 75 or so tokens now.
Okay.
But oh my gosh.
There's so many specific ones that are very niche to like one player.
Yeah.
So I try to do like the bigger ones. There's artists like RK Post who definitely is known as that token guy.
Yeah. Randy.
He does great. He has every one you need.
Yeah,
but for us, like mortals, we need to like. There's only so much table space.
I haven't gotten into the token game yet. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to do just like take cameo creeps into tokens and just reuse all that artwork.
Yeah, you could.
Something I thought about doing because it would be unique. They're unique enough that they're,
Yeah, no, like I mean, and that's a great way to create and showcase that too, because then it's creatures that may not have been cameo creeps that you're having to turn into that same style art. A nice way to kind of revisit and reflect on it.
Yeah.
Not to mention in the chat, it's kind of been like a small temperature check, and a lot of people they're showing great reaction to the art in this.
Yeah, so a lot of people are saying tokens for sure.
Cool.
Very good question, Chris.
Good to know. Yeah, I figured I'd throw that out.
I just haven't
plugged right in.
Well, Eric, after Infernal Grasping your baby goose, Do you have a flyer? I don't think you do.
I do not, but when it died, it got me a little sauce packet.
One more sauce packet. Does it say, "Will you marry me"? All right, I'm gonna hit you in the air for 2, buddy.
Wow.
Yeah, take it.
I'm at 14.
All right, I'll pass over to you, buddy.
All right.
What does Infernal Grasp do?
So Infernal Grasp, this is very, 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 very commonly played in Standard and Modern, and even in Commander. Some people say it's a little too slow for Commander, but I use it anyways, mainly because I love the freaking art so much, if I'm being honest. I like to bling out my decks, and this is one of my blinged out ones. But it's just destroy target creature, you lose 2 life. So I actually lose 2 off that. But it's just a quick, easy kill spell. Like and that's what the art's reflecting. Grab this creature and take it into the depths. It's gone. It's dead.
All right. I'm gonna tap this for a black, and I'll do this so I can do it to level 2. So whenever I stack a permanent, target a player with 2 cards, and then I'm gonna tap 3, and I'm gonna cast a Perilous Snare.
There's Loot. There he is.
There he is.
Loot in the cage.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put your creature in a cage. Digs out.
Beautifully said, good sir. Beautifully said. All right. This cage.
And I'll pass.
All right. We'll untap. We'll draw. We'll drop a forest here. And this is another good one. We're gonna 1, 2, 3, 4 for a Toski Bear of Secrets. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. That's such a good one.
Yeah, that's sick.
All right, that is a
1-1.
1-1.
I'm going into your territory, Chris. Some
we're
art.
Bloom's burrowing it up, or Bloomburrow.
Man, that's the only one I got in that set. I wish I had gotten more. Man. That was such a good set.
Dude, it's a really
that
cool
was
secret.
fun.
Special guest.
It was a fun, something different, for artistically.
Well, it actually got
side of it.
It got so many players into it. Like just a flood of new players into Magic the Gathering from Bloomburrow. A whole lot. That was a really good set for Magic. So this one, it is a 1/1. It can't be countered. It's indestructible, as all squirrels should be. It attacks each combat if able, and then whenever a creature I control deals combat damage to a player at all, I draw a card. Okay, and I will pass turn. Yeah, so this is one of the ones, Lucas, like I was telling, like this is a staple.
Nice.
And they actually they just reprinted this for the SpongeBob set where it's Sandy Cheeks as the squirrel.
Our friend Tyler did all those cards.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. But yeah, this is a good one, man.
Oh, he did his 2D cell shading style for it.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, totally perfect for his jam. Those look so silly. Aren't like most of them based off of like SpongeBob memes?
Yeah. I've actually I've got some right here. We've got cool. Squidward, Sarcastic Snob. Try to pull that closer so y'all can see it.
That's so great.
Yep, they've got the Command Tower, which is one of the lands. It's his Pineapple House.
So good.
Mr. Krabs.
Oh, I love it. Great.
It's just a great homage.
I can hear Mr. Krabs when I look at that card.
Yeah, just yelling. And you got SpongeBob, of course.
Oh,
Rainbows and Happiness.
That's fantastic.
Tyler did all those?
I did a lot of them. I'm not sure if he did.
Yeah, it looks like Caleb. I'm gonna butcher some of these with respect.
He did one that's like ridiculous, like $300.
John did that. Oh, he might have done the.
It's like a whole bunch of pile of money.
Yes. Oh my god. So you're talking about So with each, this is called a secret layer set. Okay. And with each secret layer set, but roughly each, there's one card, 1 or 2 cards, but typically one, that has like a 1 in 1,000 chance of pulling out of the case, right? So the one you're talking about that he did is that 1 of 1,000 card for this SpongeBob set. And it's Smothering Tithe. And it's Mr. Krabs on a big pile of money. And what that card is every time someone draws a card, you make a treasure token, unless that player pays 2 mana. So more often than not, you're making a whole bunch of resources and money in the aspect of Mr. Krabs. But yeah, that's what that card is to this set.
Wow.
It's really expensive right now. Like, so that's why it's nuts, because it's like there's stock in a lot of art that is in cards.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, Eric, that's my turn, brother. You go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna hurt. So I started my engines.
You wouldn't exile a squirrel.
As you know. No, but let's see. You don't have any blockers, do you? Oh, you have
I have a
Toasty.
squirrel. Get some respect on its name. It's Toast.
Oh, and you have to attack each turn. Okay, here's what I'll do then. I'm gonna go ahead and tap 2. I'm gonna sack this food and gain 3 life. 1, 2, 4, 4. Make sure I'm on. Doing a good job. Keep it up.
Oh yeah.
Is it me?
Are you done?
Oh, I'm doing this blind. Hazen, I think I raised my life too much. Was I at 16 or?
Yeah, because you took 4.
I took 4? Okay. So 1, 2, 3. And then whenever I sack a permanent, you're going to mill 2 cards.
Okay. There's Terminate. Very awesome kill spell. And then we've got another Vexing Devil. Okay.
All right. And then I will go ahead and pass.
All right. We'll tap, we'll draw. I'll play Swamp. I will tap 3 for a Branching Evolution, which is an enchantment. This is the one that has like all the hydras and stuff in the back, Lucas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was like that god is from what set was that?
Modern Horizons.
Was it? No, I think that one was like an Ixalan revisit.
Caverns of
Oh
Ixalan?
yeah, it has dinosaur. Yeah, so this is from that Modern Horizons set, but I see what you mean, like because there's dinosaurs.
Oh yeah,
I see.
Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Very cool. So that
What do you
put a +1/+1 counter on something, it gets another one.
Oof.
And Eric, I have to swing and Toski at you.
Oh yeah? How big is it?
It's a 1/1, sir. Indestructible. As all
I will block it with 1/3.
All right, I'll try. I'll pass turn.
All right, I'm gonna draw for turn. I'm getting very land happy. Let's see, you attacked, so here's what I'll do. I'm gonna go ahead and swing and hit you for 1.
Okay.
So that will start my engine, so I'm at 2 now. So if I get to 4, that's max speed. If I get to max speed, then I can tap this, put a 1 counter on target creature or vehicle I control. I can only do it at sorcerer speed though. And that's all I can do. It's a pretty slow one. I'll pass.
All right.
Just drawing into land.
Tap. We'll draw. All right. I'm also a little land happy. But we're gonna Thoughtseize. Let me see that hand. That's not your hand,
you
that's
see
the
this?
cat. Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Yum.
All right. I have a planes and a Geralf's messenger.
That's the one I was talking about. Show that one on camera. That's the special, the store championship one I was talking about earlier.
Oh yeah, that was for the April Fool's left-handed one.
It's sick.
He's got
Really
7
cool.
left or something.
Is it going in the graveyard?
It is. I'll lose 2. All right, and the same thing. I have to attack with Toski, so 1/1 coming at you.
Okay. We'll take it.
Yep, and I will draw a card. Holy crap! All right.
So it has dying, but if it's discarded, it doesn't trigger, right?
What was that?
It's got undying, but since it was discarded, there's no trigger, correct?
Correct. Yeah. It's not out and it's not dying.
Gotcha.
So if there's
You pass the turn?
I do pass, yeah. So gentlemen, if there's one thing like as far as next steps, like career wise, is there anything specific, like such as passions for teaching or specific archetypes that you want to pursue more or maybe dial more into? Like for example, like Lucas, if you're like, I only want to do dragons now, or Chris, if you're trying to get into teaching or something along those lines.
Well, for me, I'm in the process of starting a game company.
A game company?
Yeah. I've been working
Lucas
with...
is smiling. It's like, yep, look at him doing everything.
You can do anything, Chris. I believe in you. Yeah, so, I mean, we're still a couple of years out before any kind of Kickstarter or crowdfunding thing happens, but I've been, for the last year and a half, 2 years, I've been working on a game with a designer. I'll be doing all the artwork for it. And we'll start the game company with this first game and see how it goes. And but we have about 3 other projects in the works. But also, they're different based off of genre. Yeah, so I'm looking to kind of go into the other side of it because I'm crazy. And
hey, man, your last endeavor did great. Might as well, right? You're accepting all the
I mean, well, I'll tell you what, man. Like, I've done Gen Con every year for the last, 20 years. And, it's the greatest place to see all the latest games, other than, say, a Kickstarter or something. Mm-hmm. Right. Now, of course, we have to see kind of how this whole geopolitical thing works with printing and all that. Blah, I don't want to get into that. But, there's a lot of potential and there's a lot of room for new stuff in gaming. And so I'm just kind of, we had this crazy idea for a game and it's really silly. We've already prototyped it and we're going through the second round of prototyping. And we'll see. Hold my breath until
I'm gonna get on that list.
For sure, man. And that's the other thing too. Like with the Twitch stream that I'm starting, is that eventually we'll start to like stream playtesting and stuff of it, and so people can actually see it and see it being played. And it's a very simple concept. It's a dungeon crawl with goblins. And that's all you gotta.
Hey, man,
I mean,
that's all.
Don't get attached to your goblin. Don't get attached to your goblin because he's gonna turn into bug splat, and at some point.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, probably between the ages of 10 and up. I mean, it's a family friendly game. But yeah, so just being in that space, there's a lot of room for new stuff, and it was this could be a fun side project. And I'm not going to quit freelancing. I'm still going to be working with Wizards. I've been working with them for 25 years now, so that's still my go-to. But in the meantime, it's why not just try my hand at doing something different for a little while and see how that goes. And it could be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
very cool.
Because 400 hours of custom art is not enough.
What's that?
Because 400 hours of custom art isn't enough for you, Chris. You have to start a game studio too.
Hey, I'm gonna put in orders for custom puppets. I've learned a lot today.
I mean, don't we all have to be satisfied in some way?
Absolutely.
Whether it's having a garden or whatever, there's something that gives you that little bit of extra. And I've always kind of looked for that, though. I like what I'm doing. Obviously, I love being a fantasy artist, but I'm also want to share other ideas that I've had. And if it was film or television or something, I'd probably be pursuing that too, or acting or music, or I don't know. But gaming is what I know.
The creative mindset is just wanting to produce and give out and show. And,
right.
I get it, man. I'm rooting for you.
Yeah, thank you. For sure.
What about you, Lucas? Any side quests coming up? What are the next steps for you? What's it look like?
Right now, man, I'm kind of just. I've done so much art. I mean, I'm not on the same level as Chris as far as like his production and his outlet of this is good. I'm probably about half of that. I like to do other things too. I like to golf and I like to do pottery, and I have other creative outlets, but I'm still doing magic. I'm just not doing as much as I used to. The shows have been a good outlet for me as well. It's been a change of pace, and it's been nice getting to meet fans and get a chance to kind of build some income outside of just painting all the time. So it's working out pretty good for me. I've got some banger cards right now, so I'm just trying to take advantage while they're still hot. That might change down the road. I've got a 13-year-old, and she's a big priority in my life. So just trying to kind of focus on her and as she goes through school and her likes and dislikes, and just try to be there for the family. But yeah, I sound much less ambitious than Chris. He's like, I want to build a game company. I'm like, I want to go golf.
No, you're doing amazing things. Having a family, that's incredible.
Yeah.
But Chris is a very unique individual. I've known him a long time. He's always been this way. It's awesome. And I just live vicariously through him.
I'll have a little Lou in my pocket.
Yeah. The next cameo creep.
There you go. I want a cameo creep, Chris.
You're gonna get a bunch of custom orders after this, man. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
I think that'd be sick having like a profile, like hard hat, safety vest. And man, I'm about it.
Oh,
we'll figure it out. I'm gonna hit you up. All right, we got to raid everybody. What a wonderful thing to raid into. Base Messiah, thank you so much for raiding with the party of 7. This is our Artist Versus series. We've got Chris Seaman, we've got Lucas Graciano here, talking about their arts, their inspirations, their background, their want-tos, everything. A little bit of everything. We're having an absolute blast doing it. Almost done here. Eric, were you done with your turn? Right?
Yeah. So I will hit you for one question. I mean, one damage. And I had one question for y'all. When y'all are deep in y'all's projects, whether it's like if y'all experience some type of burnout or if it helps y'all focus to have it in the background, what would y'all say is that movie or show that does that for y'all?
Oh, man. That's easy for me.
Did you say Lord of the Rings, Lucas?
Yeah.
What'd you say, Chris?
The Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
So I throw those
I
on.
don't blame him.
Yep.
Man.
I love it.
I've been lucky. It's burnout happens. Burnout happens all the time. I mean, it's just inevitable. And it's part of the process. And when you finally accept that it's going to suck, then you can move on. And that's how I've always dealt with. I mean, it took me a while to figure that out, but it happens. It's just natural. It's part of the process, and you have to accept the suckiness and then move on and push through.
I'll make it. I'm sorry, Lucas.
Did you want my answer?
Yeah, go ahead, Lucas. Go ahead. I apologize. I got a little too excited.
Did you have something else for Chris?
I guess like y'all are both Lord of the Rings fans, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I got like a Sauron right here.
What would you say is that scene that does it for y'all every single time? Like I tear up Boromir like every time. But like, is there like a specific scene that it's just like, you know what? I need that shot of adrenaline. Let me just inject this Gandalf into my veins. Like what scene?
I've got mine.
Go.
Mine is Theoden's A Charge. His speech at the charge, man.
Oh,
I tear up every time.
Man.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. I would have to say, whoa, you bow to no man. At the end,
Yeah.
Return of the King,
Good.
like that. I was sobbing in the theater.
Yeah.
That was just so good. Give me chills now, actually.
Hell yeah. Great question. Chat's freaking out about Lord of the Rings. Dark said Sam's
sorry,
speech.
you about to know one.
Sam's big speech.
Rephrase that. I said no. That's a whole other thing. But nice.
Got Lord of the Rings, Nazgul.
Oh, sick.
We're almost done. Another couple sittings and it should be done.
Sick.
So when Aragorn picks that helmet, who is that person that just starts to get up and tell everyone about the chainmail and the trivia?
What was the question?
Oh, I'm sorry. So, like, when the movie, you know how there's always that one scene in the movie when Vigo kicks the helmet. You know, who's the first person to point out that piece of trivia?
There's like memes online about that now. Videos.
He broke his toe.
That's where he broke his toe. Yep.
I got the opportunity to go over to New Zealand and visit Weta and see the Shire, and it was incredible.
Man,
one of the most
jealous
things ever.
So jealous.
Yeah, I gotta take the family next time. I was out there for an event in Australia, and then I was like, hey, I got a buddy in Wellington. I was like, hey, I'm gonna come over and visit you for a week. You want to go on a road trip? We spent 6 days just driving to North Island, and it was incredible.
That's sick.
One of the wildest experiences I ever had at a convention was an artist from Weta. Weta had done a Gen Con event in Indianapolis, and they had artists there. And they were going througthrough the artist alley, and they're like, oh, wow, I didn't know you were here. And I was like, what? How do you know who I am? And they're like, well, we game and stuff. And I was like, whoa, dude, that's so cool. And his name was Johnny, and he said, if you're ever there, you know, in New Zealand, hit me up and we'll go tour the facility. And I was like, oh my god, I don't know if that was years ago. I don't know if they're there. He's still there, but I want to say he might have had a hand in their mini epic figures.
Oh yeah,
because his style is like really like interesting and whimsical. And he was showing me like he had done a chess set that was all based off of the Labyrinth characters.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was really neat. But that's the closest I've been. I haven't actually been.
Honeymoon.
Yep, honeymoon.
Very cool.
Or a guy's trip, Chris. How about you and I?
Yeah.
All
We'll get Tom back.
Backpack it. I'll be Sam, you be Frodo. I can't carry it, but I can carry you.
Oh man, chills every time.
Eric, I'm just hitting you for one. That's all I'm doing.
Oh yeah, is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
The disrespect.
And I'll draw a card.
I am top decking right now.
So, gentlemen, what would each of you say is like? Just pat yourself on the back. Find that ego. Dig deep. Y'all are super humble. Find that ego. What would y'all say is something specific about your art that sets you aside from others? Like you're like, man, this is like I got this. Like I got this locked in. This is mine.
Ooh. Our strong suit.
What do you think you do best? What do you think you do best?
How about I'll tell you what Chris does best, and Chris can tell you what I do best.
Oh,
humble again. All right, I like it. Go ahead.
Oh man, so Chris, man, what I love about your art is your ability to stylize, like the way you stylize your characters, and you push certain anatomy, and you're able to kind of stretch and push things to a fantastical idealization where I can't do that. I feel like you and like Prescott, you guys kind of have that ability to do that and then also get great amount of texture in all your stuff. It's just, I don't get it, man. It's just not in me to do that, and I get jealous of it every time I see it.
Oh man, Lou, thank you. That's super cool.
Also, your color palettes, man. I can't get those, like that vibrancy you can get in a lot of, like that frog, man, was so good.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God.
Man. Oh, Lou, what do you do? Oh man, your anatomy. just hands down, just top tier.
Thanks, man.
I love your ability to get. This is something that I admire about Lou, guys, that is just amazing. So Lou at heart is a painter. I have always wanted to be a painter. I am not a painter. I'm an illustrator. I've always admired your ability with the brush. And just like Chris, Ron, and Eric, the way you guys handle your paint is just so admirable. And I've never been able to do that. I still can't figure it out. But I just admire your skill set. It's just so beautiful. The way you handle your paint. It's just beautiful.
Appreciate you. Well, right back at you, man. There's certain things I'm like, God, how do I get some of that? You know?
I remember, do you remember this? The first time we met, it was at Spectrum Art Live in Kansas City, and you guys had drove the whole Watts crew and all your panels and all your art through half the country to Kansas City. You're dead on your feet. You guys are exhausted.
Yeah, we will never do that again.
And I just remember looking at, there's the painting you did for Pathfinder that you had there. And it was so stunning. And I was like, fuck, how did you do that? Like, I couldn't figure out how you painted it. And that's actually like why we go to museums, right? Like, we go to museums to look at the paintings up close.
Yeah.
How did they do that? That's amazing. And that was the reaction I had from your. And then you came over to me and said the same exact thing, and I was like, "What? What are you talking about? That's good."
We're all fanboys of each other's work.
Mutual appreciation.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, guys. Y'all are great, man. Y'all are great. Just the friendship, the history, the building each other up.
Well, when you had invited me to this and you were like, Lucas Graciano's gonna be there, I was like, yes.
I'm just name dropping like I know the guy. Heck yeah, awesome. Guys. I love it so much. Eric, it's you, homie. What are you doing?
It's me. I'm hitting you for one.
Again?
It's like, yeah, again. That's right.
Got another raid, everybody. We've got Jake the Lithomancer raided with a party of 6. Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all. Welcome to the Artist Versus stream. Having a great time.
Let's see. So, question from Anchor Bunny. Chris, new stream. When does it happen next?
I'm hoping to do it between now and MTG Vegas.
Oh wow, pretty soon.
I am going to be going live all of MagicCon Vegas, doing signatures. So that'll be like, I don't know, it depends on how long my phone can last, but like probably at least 4 to 6 hours, maybe even longer, of streaming. Just, I'm going to be signing cards, and that's what I'm going to be doing. But then between now and then, I hope to do at least 1 or 2 streams of signing cards and working on orders from my website and from the convention I just finished, Command Fest, last weekend. I have a couple of customs that I have to paint, so I'm going to be painting live and doing signatures. So if you get a chance, please follow me, and then you'll get notification, obviously, when I go live. For the first time, it'll be my first stream.
Absolutely.
What is your is it Chris Art 33?
It's Chris Seaman Illustration is my Twitch.
Could someone drop that in chat if y'all get the chance? And then chat, we just had 2 raids back to back. A lot of y'all have joined us. Thank you so much. This series is all about the artists, about their work, their history, their backgrounds. Feel free to ask any questions you got. I'm scrolling through. If I missed one, say it again, ask it again. I'm trying to pick ones that we haven't covered already, but feel free to ask whatever questions y'all have from these 2 amazing artists. That's why they're here.
I got nothing else, Hazen. I'll pass.
Okay.
I played a serrated scorpion.
Heck yeah. Another one of the little creatures. Okay. Interesting. Does that have Death Touch?
It does not. But if it dies, then I'll deal 2 damage to you, and I'll gain 2 life.
Oh, I don't care about that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna Sunbringer's Touch. It says bolster X, where X is the number of cards in my hand, which is 4. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it gains trample until end of turn. To bolster X, choose a creature with the least toughness when creatures you control and put X +1/+1 counter on it. So that will be 4, but instead, Branching Evolution is going to give it 5. So Toski is going to be a big old boy, big old squirrel, and it has trample until end of turn. So we actually have a question in chat, Lucas, about this art specifically for Toski. The glyphs in the back, or the writing, or the language, or the symbols, whatever that is that based on something specific that you use for reference, or is that something you came up with?
I was just typing back a response to him or her. We get a style guide from WotC that it kind of goes over the basic shape language of the set. I mean, you know, what is the shapes of the elves? You know, what is their overall theme and the colors and shapes that they would use. So this one was Kaladesh, which was kind of Viking-esque, and they gave us some examples, and then we just extrapolate from that and make our own.
And that's really interesting because this was a Bloomborough special guest. That's what they gave you to go off of. That's neat. Yeah, because it has the Viking aspects from the beard and everything else it has going on.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what's interesting about this painting is that not a lot of people notice it, and it doesn't really translate all that well, but the circle that's behind him, the white circle, is the outline of the skull of an animal. Because what they wanted us to do is create this smaller world, right? Everything's really tiny. So he's inside.
It's like inside of a skull type deal.
Oh,
right.
That's awesome. That's cool.
It just doesn't translate all that well. I had to focus mostly on him, but it was a great way to show him off, like backlight him and make him stand out as a silhouette.
That's great.
That's very, very
Great.
cool.
Oh.
I did not know that.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's the other thing too that we should probably talk about a little bit is like Wizards hires us based off of our skill set, off of our competency artistically, but we also are problem solving for them. So like they'll say, you know, we want, as an example here, we want you to show the scale of this. So, you know, use a skull as the room, as an example. So, like, how do you do that? How do you draw that so, you know, it works? And then, of course, makes the card pop or makes the character pop. So we're always in this kind of problem-solving mode to hit all the beats of the requirements that they want in their description, but then also make a good piece of artwork that we're proud of, you know? Sometimes, I mean, there have been a couple of times when I've just eliminated a small sentence or something that they've suggested because it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know, like there's always those there's something that always drives me crazy when they're like, okay, there's 2 characters dueling, right? Well, do you do it this way, this way, this way, this, you know, like there's only so many ways creatively you can figure that out. That's when you bust out a model or whatever, you know, some toys to figure out, okay, well, how would that look, you know? So there's sometimes there's that where it's just creative problem solving.
So what about some frustrations? Like, have y'all ever like spent all that time, got something where you thought it was 100% good to go, and then you turn it in and it's just shot down?
Not too many times. Sometimes I'll miss the mark. I just did a card actually where I missed the mark on it, and they wanted me to resubmit just because they weren't as clear as they usually are with a description.
So too much freedom.
It was the way it was worded.
Okay.
Like, yeah, the way the description was worded, when the emphasis should have been on the other, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that was a redo, and then they clarified, like, oh, sorry, that was, you know, they wanted it this way.
A lot of hours, but my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lou, has that ever happened to you where you they have you kind of tweak something?
Yeah, I think both of us being longtime Magic artists, there's changes in how they're designing certain creatures and characters now. So I kind of always resort back to old style Magic, and they're like, well, no, we can't do that now. So we're doing this. I'm like, oh, okay, I got to go in and make those adjustments and stuff. But I guess I'm biased towards certain design choices, based on my long time with them. But usually it's pretty smooth with them. Magic is they pick the artists that they need to do the job that they need. I mean, it's
a business model.
Yeah, I mean, it's they know what Chris's strengths are, so they're going to give him lots of those animals.
Right.
So
right.
That's just that's smart on the art director's side. Is they can trust that they're not going to have to go through a lot of revisions or have any issues with the artist.
Yeah.
Based on past work.
Mm-hmm.
Very good answer.
Yeah, good question.
Eric, you're getting slapped for 6 trample, sweetheart.
Oh, man. Does it have trample?
Yep.
It does have trample. Okay. I will sack.
It's a big squirrel.
I'll block with Serrated Scorpion. So 4 will get through, right?
Okay. I'll draw
1, 2, 4. You'll lose 2 life. I'll gain 2 life. And then that is going to get me a food from a creature die.
Yep. And we've got a quick question. We touched on this a little bit earlier, because I know volume changes throughout years and sets, etc., etc. In chat, Anchor Bunny is asking, how many cards do y'all do a year?
Ooh.
I think we can summarize that too, because you did mention that it's changed over the years and getting into it, getting out of it. I think so. I guess how many cards a year do you do for Wizards of the Coast, and then how many do you think new pieces do you think you do per year in general?
Chris probably does a ton more than I do.
I'm averaging about 30, maybe
that's
more. Huh?
That's like more than double what I do. I usually do maybe 12 to 15, and I've started backing off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say anywhere now between 8 and 15.
And that I guess that also isn't like counting the artwork I do for D&D too.
He does everything.
You're a madman. You are a madman.
Yeah. Well, so I did the half-orc paladin and the dwarf cleric and the dragonborn in 5th edition. And then I did like a bunch of supplements for those books. I did like work for Storm King's Thunder, Book of Wild Darkness. I did the whole chapter. I did a bunch of stuff for Curse of Strahd, the Ravenloft supplement. And then I kind of didn't work on it for a while and was mostly focusing on Magic. And I just recently started getting in contact to do more stuff for the 5.5 or the new edition. I think
you just did a handbook with someone too, correct? A player's handbook of some sort. I don't think it was necessarily D&D.
Sure.
Yeah, it's out there.
Yes, I did.
You do too much, you don't even know.
Yes, have some. Yes.
Wait, that's out?
Yeah, I mean, I did do some work for the new edition in the player's handbook and the GM. I didn't do anything in the monster manual, which I was kind of bummed about. I was like, come on, I do monsters and shit all the time. Yeah. Whatever. But
very cool.
I did there occasionally, and this mostly happens with D&D, is that like I'll do a series of paintings for a project, and occasionally a painting will get cut. And I did a painting, I can't show it, I can't share it, I can't sell it, that didn't make the cut for Planescape. And that was like one of my favorite paintings I had done for them. And, I was like, oh man, this is going to be a miniature. I'm totally going to collect it. That's awesome. And then like they cut it.
Even though it was cut, you can't use it?
Nope.
Wow.
Nope.
Oh man.
They could potentially use it in the future. Like they'll
that's possible. But I can't share it or show it until it's like
no.
Wow. Interesting.
Doesn't happen very
I
often.
did.
Happened a lot. Happened a couple of times in 4th edition where I did a painting and they changed the direction of whatever the mechanic was for the race or class or whatever. But it doesn't happen very often. But it does happen.
That makes sense. All right, Eric, your turn, brother. Smack me.
All right. I'm gonna untap. I'm gonna draw. Oh no, it's another land.
It's
I'm
the
gonna go
shuffling,
ahead
man. I gotta shuffle this like 50 times.
I'm
He's
gonna
got huge
tap
tracts of land.
2, and I'll crack this, and I'll mail you for 2 cards.
Yep.
And I'll gain 3 life.
Oh, Surak and Goreclaw. That would have been nice next turn. Check that out.
Oh, hey, I have a miniature for that creature in the corner.
Oh yeah.
I'll show you guys.
Cool.
I did like a little sculpture of this guy.
Little.
He's such a weird.
Wow.
He's
That's awesome.
Oh, is that this dude? Is that what that is in the corner?
That's what all those creatures are. Yeah, there's some in the back.
Wow.
So he was such an abstract character. I was like, man, I need to build this just to get some sense of the volume.
It's like a sliver hound.
Yeah.
It's like a sliver
That's
hound
sick.
or something like that. That's
fun,
awesome,
though.
man.
This is another I love this kind of stuff. You try to
That's super
find
cool.
ways to get that in your.
That's like something out of
your,
Stranger Things or something like that. That's sick.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna hit you for.
1, and number 2, a Wasteland Viper. I've seen that one. Okay.
I'm gonna hit you for another 1, Hazen.
What was
And
that?
then that puts me. I'm gonna hit you for another 1.
Okay.
And then that puts me at max speed. So I'll tap, and I'll put a 1/1 counter on the creature. And then after that, I'm gonna pass.
Okay. I'll draw. Was that till end of turn or in general? Trample to end of turns. Okay, so he no longer has trample. We will 1, 2, 3, 4. Get a land out of hand. For a bellowing elk. Just a big old elk in the forest.
So that painting, that card came out relatively recent, like maybe the last few years. But I did that painting like 12 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was one that got pushed to the slush fund or the slush pile, and
The flush pile, yeah.
and it pops up. I still have one out there that I did early on in my career that I don't think it'll ever see the light of day.
That just happened to me with demonic consultation.
Mm.
The demonic rabbit that was put on a slush pile, and it just came out. And
do they like notify y'all, or does it just happen like it's on the print?
strangely enough, I get tagged on Twitter the most. Like
when
hey,
we
this
know,
card
you
is
know.
You know.
Wow.
Okay, cool. That's how I find out my cards are out.
That's
Mostly.
pretty funny. Okay, well that's a 4-2, Eric, and I'm gonna swing another 6 at you.
Another 6? Oh man. Yeah, I'll take it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, and I'll draw a
I'm
card.
at 12.
And second main, I will actually 1, 2, 3 for a Managorger Hydra. Look at that beauty. I like Hydras. I'm a fan of Hydras. Very cool. That is a 1/1 trample. Whenever a player casts a spell, I put a +1/+1 counter on it. But because of Branching Evolution, it'll be 2 counters. And I will pass to you, good sir.
I'm in trouble. I'm gonna untap.
So Genesis Nightmare in chat has a quick question. Do you get paid for the art when you make it, or do you get paid when they print it on a card?
We're work for hire. We get paid as when they commission an assignment.
When you commission, no matter what.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, that's good. That's good. Like, you can never just turn around and be like, oh, man, I just dumped, like you were just saying, Chris, I just dumped all these hours into that, and it got cut. Don't get paid.
Yeah, there was early on in my career, I want to say in the early 2000s, like a lot of companies that I was working for at the time hired on publication, or are paid on publication rather.
Oh wow! Yeah.
And it was really hard to make a living at. Like it was, there was a period there between like 2000 and 2008 that I was really struggling because, it would be months before something was published and I'd finally get a paycheck. And
man,
it was, I mean, I think all of us go through, all of us artists go through this period of, struggle to some degree, some more significant than others, I'm sure. But that's you have to have passion for it to see it through to the end, to where there's some successes and some, feathers in your cap.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was rough. It was rough. Wouldn't recommend it. It sucked pretty hard.
I always tell students, like, there's a lot easier ways to make more money. Go do that. If you're in it for the money.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. If
You gotta
money
have
is
the
the
passion
goal.
behind it. Stick with it.
Yeah.
Stick to it.
Right.
Or just be like Chris. Do everything. Sell laptops. Make marionettes. Make pillowcases.
I have a real hard time saying no. Let me tell you.
That's sick, man. I really want to hear more about that video game. That's really cool. Take it away, Eric. That's all you, brother.
All right. Well, y'all have done work for Dungeons and Dragons. As far as if y'all actually do y'all play D&D, or when it comes to role playing games, what class do y'all tend to gravitate towards?
Yeah, I've been playing D&D since I was 11.
Yeah.
And I've always gravitated towards a halfling rogue. Always, for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't really play. I played back in 7th grade for a little bit, but I've started a little bit because I wanted to get my daughter to try it out, and she's actually in a D&D club at school. So, I mean, maybe it skips a generation. I don't know.
We're gonna get you in a one shot. That's all we gotta do.
So what I did is I put a 1/1 counter on 3 Tree Weaver. I upgraded to level 3. I'm just gonna pass and see if I can draw into a card that can change my favor.
There's a lot of removal in both of these decks. These guys both had some bangers. Oh man. All right. Well. Oh, did you play a spell at all or no?
I did not.
Okay. So I will pay 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna drop a branching evolution. Another one.
Oh my god.
Third player casts a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Manticore or Hydra. Unfortunately, that's on cast, so it's not on the battlefield yet, but it will see the first one. So I'll get a +1/+1 counter on my boy here. Big ol' Hydra. And we gonna swing. You're looking tasty. We're gonna swing everything.
Oh wow. You're just so freaking cool, huh?
You're looking tasty. I'm hungry.
So, what do you have? How much beef is coming at me right now?
The Almighty Squirrel is a 6/6.
Oh my gosh.
You've got a 4/2 elk. You've got a 2/2 with trample.
I guess I'm gonna block the Hydra with my 3/5, and
Yep.
I'll take the rest.
Okay, so Hydra dies, and you take 6, 7, 9, 10.
Yeah, and that's why we don't focus in class at math, because survive.
Why didn't you block the squirrel?
Yeah, Eric.
Oh, it's got trample. Well, I mean, if I block that, how big is it? It's a 6?
Yeah, it's a 6/6.
Oh, it has trample?
But no. So it does not have trample anymore. So the the Hydra has trample, but it's a 2/2.
Oh.
So it's pretty much a question, Eric. Would you rather block and kill a creature, or block and take less damage? That's where you're at.
Good. Yeah, I guess I'll because that Hydra's only gonna get bigger. I guess I'll block your Toski. Your Toski is big enough to kill it, so I will still take 1 damage,
Well, so Toski doesn't have trample. It did earlier. So no damage from that, but you take 4 from the Bellowing Elk, and you take 2 from the Hydra. So you took 6 damage. And 2 creatures got through, so I will draw 2 cards. That's what makes Toski such a freaking staple. And then, that's interesting. We will 1, 2, 3 for a Fey Offering.
Ah, that's my daughter.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was the first card she got. She always wanted to be on a card, but she's so young, and there's not really any kids in Magic, so it was one opportunity to be able to use her.
That is so cool. That's so sick, man. I think that's awesome that you did that. Alright, so that will enter at the beginning of each end step. If I cast both a creature spell and a non-creature spell, I create a clue, food, or a treasure token. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's not or. You create all 3.
I will get a food, though.
Okay. I did not cast a creature this turn, which is the only unfortunate part. But that's just to get it out there. So I will pass turn, good sir.
All right. What do I do? Well, this helps just so that way we can talk about it. So this is let's talk about this. We're gonna tap 2, tap 4, and we're gonna show off this mana reflection. Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Aha. If you tap a permanent for mana, it produces twice as much as that mana. I really like the haircut on this character.
Yep.
So Chris, you actually got to do you did that whole reflection set. How was that as an assignment?
That was really cool. It was really
You did
fun.
all of them. You did boon reflection, you did wound reflection.
Yeah, I went and looked at Therese Nielsen's reflections that she had done for the previous bunch of sets, and kind of was like, okay, well, what can I come up with that's uniquely me artistically? And some of the direction was pretty specific. For mana, they wanted, roots growing from the palms of the characters that were facing each other. And then I had some fun with it. Like boon reflection is slightly different.
I love that card.
Each side is slightly different, even though they're a reflection. And I did that with the wound reflection also. One of the vampires is holding a dagger, the other one isn't. So there's like these subtle little shifts in the illustration that I wanted to kind of do. That was really kind of fun to play with.
They're really cool, and those are really, really powerful cards too. Those see a lot of play.
Awesome,
especially these.
Good to know.
Yeah, because
I was really focused actually in the negative space of the color between each one. So like green, obviously it's a green card. But the negative space and the shape that it creates was what I wanted each one to be different. So when you squint your eyes and you look at it, you just see that shape, and then okay, it's that card. That was something that I was playing with those.
That's very cool. I really like those cards. Like I said, they're very strong. Like this one's very strong. Boon reflection, very good for life gain. They're very, very good cards.
Yeah, I think you got this one, Hazen, because I'm trying to remember if I was at 5 or 6, because that would either be at 8 or 9. But I don't have a creature, and you can just full swing, so I think that would be GG's. I did play a spell, so that would be some beef on your Hydra.
Yeah. So it'll get 2 counters actually.
Yeah.
1 from each. Okay, so you pass then?
Yeah, I accept my fate.
You're gonna accept your fate? Is this gonna be a first artist series draw?
I can taste the leather.
Alright, we're gonna full send.
That's it. Yeah, I die. I do my Tekken pose and grab my back and arch and the pain.
Wound reflection is my mono black pet card. Well, you got some fans of the wound reflection. They're very, very cool. And yeah, I didn't notice that. Anchor Bunny pointed out very interesting take on the negative space on the cards.
Yeah,
like they do pop out. They do stand out like that. I'm gonna have to find them in my sets and squint at them now.
yeah.
We spend half the time doing our illustrations like squinted. Like I'm always squinting to make sure it's like reading it is smaller.
Well, guys, this is chat. If anyone has any extra questions, anything they want to get out before we start to close this down, but this has been an absolute blast. I think
awesome.
This was very informative, very fun, real laid back. Got to talk about y'all's passions, your histories, your up and coming projects. Is there anything y'all wanted to talk about some more before we're done? Any questions you had for us or the community while we're still here?
Just if you want to check out my website, chrisseamanart.com. Like I said before, I'm gonna start a Twitch channel here where I just do ASMR card signatures, and so you can see. I also offer different kinds of signatures too, so not every card will be the same. But something different, and I'll be at MTG or MagicCon Vegas, and then I'll be at Gen Con, and then probably nothing until 2026. So those are my next two major events. And yeah, I'm on Instagram and X as at Chris Seaman Art, and you can follow me there if you're interested.
Which, if you're here, you absolutely should be. These are wonderful artists.
Oh, well, thank you.
Lucas, what you got?
You can follow me. My website is lucasgraciano.com. I'm also on Instagram and X. I usually post up all my newest work and even some older work up on Instagram quite a bit. And then you'll find all my events there too. I've got a few crazy cards right now, so I'm doing a lot of events to capitalize. And I'll be at MagicCon. I'll be in Minneapolis next weekend. I'll be in Baltimore, Hartford, Orlando, Gen Con. This will be my first year doing Gen Con, Chris.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, awesome, man. We'll have to go grab dinner.
We will. I'll have my daughter with me too.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm traveling quite a bit. So you guys could if you're going to events, you'll probably catch me at some Star City Games or MagicCon.
And also, too, always, we're approachable. We love to chat about the art. We love to chat about the game, or games in general. We're nerds at heart too, so never fret. We're it's always a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, this was when I say I've been talking about this for months. This has been a dream. Y'all are amazing artists. I've nerded out about y'all to many of my friends. My wife is sick of it. Everybody's sick of it. But I love the art. Lucas, make that playmat at least for me. Okay.
One off.
But man, I mean, we're definitely gonna hit y'all up to see if we can, of course, respect y'all's time and you're busy and everything else. But if we can get something to commemorate this event or something along those lines, that'd be super sick. Can't wait to see y'all at events in the future and pick up more tokens, pick up more playmats. Thank you to everyone in chat who joined us for this event. We've been talking about it for a very long time. We're gonna have another one very soon. We're working on getting some more artists on board. They're all very busy. We're very fortunate we got these two locked in. So please stick around, follow us on our Magic creator journey, and that's gonna be it. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna raid somebody. Past this level. What you got? I
had a quick question.
Go ahead.
Is there anything the fans could do to show their appreciation at the cons, like with tokens? Like, say for example, Lucas, like, hey, I appreciate Dig Newtons, or like, Chris, like,
No,
man, whatever. I mean,
I'm all about
we get brought all sorts
man.
of
Let me
weird
tell
stuff.
you what.
No, we enjoy. We do get gifts quite a bit, and it's whatever you feel, man. I mean, you don't have to bring anything. Just come say hi, get a card signed or something. But
right.
Yeah, whatever we're good with anything, honestly.
Yep,
Yeah.
agreed.
All right.
I know Mark Poole, he gets whiskey and cigars, and I wouldn't mind that. But
All right, chat. You heard it. Whiskey and cigars. Step up your game. But the whiskey does not go on the table.
no,
It doesn't go on the table.
Correct.
Open flames and whiskey away from the table.
Behind the table.
yes.
It's behind the curtains. All right, everybody. We're gonna go ahead and raid over to looks like MTG Nerd Girl. I think everyone who had streams today in our community has raided over, which we appreciate y'all so much. So we're gonna grade MTG Nerd Girl, another great person in the community. She's been doing it a very long time, so let's show her some love. We'll start.
We actually met her at Commander Con.
All right, and give it a moment. All right, thank you guys. Thank you everybody so much.
Thanks for having us.
It's been an absolute blast. We'll see you on the next stream. Appreciate you.